What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, dude?
Man, we are in here on a Friday afternoon. You know, it's a little different for us, man. You know, I don't think we recorded on a Friday during the season. We were traveling a lot on Fridays and hitting Thursdays.
Not Fridays.
Yeah, man. So this is a little different for us, man. But, you know, we will be spacing it out, doing more of a 3-day-a-week format. Typically, we'll do our Fridays in the morning. But obviously, we had some other stuff we had to take care of, which was why we had to go in the afternoon today. But as a whole, man, I'm going to embrace it because this is new, baby, and it feels good. I like your threads that I see over there. Yeah, man, so I can't complain, baby. How you over there, man? You living good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Not much to complain about outside of the Steelers not being in the playoffs. But yeah.
Yeah. And I was about to say, man, big action this weekend, man. I'm excited, man. It's just, the future looks good so far. You know, future looks good.
For who?
Huh?
For who?
Just certain teams that are still playing right now.
Because I'm still not over this potential hijacking of Ben's final season. I mean, the more I thought about it after that podcast,
it's got you hot.
I got fumed.
You got the blood boiling.
I was fuming, bro.
Yeah.
I had a whole Big Deke news segment on it just going off. Man. I was not happy.
Sometimes you got to get it off your chest. You know that, man. I'm with you.
I was not happy. I'm still not happy. Like, I know we're going to talk Mason and Haskins today.
Yeah.
Just the thought of like, damn, dude. Like, they're already talking about next year. They're talking about Canada kind of like in a positive light. Like, no, I'm not talking about Canada in any positive light right now.
Still pissed.
No way. There was a hijacking that happened. There was a treason. There was malpractice that happened last season. I'm not happy with it. I'm not.
It was a treason.
Canada, Tomlin, the organization, all that. Against the best franchise quarterback. I'm not happy.
Let's go, man.
So I'm back having a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm just going to be swinging at the air, you know, talking to the clouds, because it looks like it is still the end. Like, I don't think it's going to change anything. And that's maybe the most frustrating part. Maybe that's it.
No, I can understand that 100%, man. Yeah. Well, and obviously we know this is going to continue to happen when we talk about the offense, especially the quarterback position, even the coordinator positions this off season. So yeah, I fully understand. And trust me, I do share in some of those sentiments. 100%.
You were actually agreeing with me a little bit.
I do, bro. What do you remember when we was bringing it up? I was pissed off when we was talking about this. You know, I don't like to get on those guys like that, and even had to go back and come at Coach T a little bit of like, well, what do you see to make you even feel like this is attractive? Like, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. So trust me, you're not alone with this thing.
Treason.
Man. You're not alone with this thing. But yeah, man, you kind of alluded to it. We do have a fun show for us today. Obviously we're going to talk about or react to a little bit of Mason, Rudolph, and Dwayne Haskins comments, but we're also going to have a little bit fun, a little bit different style exercise with those two in this conversation today. We're also going to talk about two upcoming free agents for us, man, in terms of JuJu Smith-Schuster and Trey Turner, just to see, you know, where our thoughts are on them in terms of them returning to the team next year or not. And we gotta do all around the league picks, division, playoff round style, because we got big time action pick. I'm glad, man. All I'm gonna say is this.
Okay.
Shout out to Gray, because this was not my planned attire for the day. Okay. I had something totally different. It probably would have rubbed. It's what? Man. We got 29,000, about 400,000 followers up here. And I salute every single one of y'all subscribers. Yo, we greatly appreciate y'all. But it probably would have been about 29,200 of them folk up here. Probably would have been a little perturbed with my attire of choice. Per se, potentially.
Did the division hat come in or something?
All I'm going to say is, you know,
what did you
29,200.
Is it that Legends community jersey they gave you?
It could have been a lot.
Did you get to keep that jersey?
Did
you?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they would give it to you and then take it back. That would be stupid.
They show love, man. They show love. Yeah. But
you took it off for the game.
I did.
Where'd you put it?
I gave it back to Jeremy because I already knew that I'm gonna get. They were gonna send it, so it was never. An issue.
They sent it in the mail.
It was never gonna be an issue. Yeah,
because I didn't remember going to the car and
some
dropping
of
it off.
The Steeler stuff here is like, yo, just send it to me. We're good. We'll get it, because otherwise it becomes more of a hassle. Everybody, can I get that jersey that you're holding? Hey, what's that in your hand?
Yeah.
You don't need to keep your own jersey, do you? It's like, we're not doing this today, bro. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, man, I was not gonna do that, man. I was just chilling. I was vibing, man. But let's get this show started, because like I said, we do got a ton to talk about, man. It's, like I said, a lot of fun. And shout out to the Upper Room members as well. A couple of things for the Upper Room members before we fully start the show, right? Because I feel like once we start the check-in, that's when the show has officially started, right? This is all a part of like the warm-up period. Like if you're a Pelotoner, you're like, oh, warm-up? This is the warm-up section right here. We're just warming up right now. But for the upper room people out there, I did put a post in the community section yesterday. It's still going to be available. It's still up there right now. But we've been seeing, you know, I asked for your feedback. I was like, hey, man, let us know some comments, some things that you guys want discussed, some topics you want discussed, both in the short term, but also throughout the offseason. And man, upper room members, y'all came through with some really good ideas, and I like that. And keep those comments coming as the offseason progresses. If something else pops in, you're like, yo, man, what about this? Talk about this. Man, we'll definitely hit that. So we saw the USFL stuff. We will talk about that throughout the offseason at times, especially when it picks up more in April. UFC. You know we talking that. We got two big time fights tomorrow night, actually, man. I'm extremely excited about that. And, you know, playing GM for a day, we're going to have all of that as well, man. So trust me on this, and more of a around the league approach with those interviews. I did see that as well. So, man, we're going to have some fun this offseason. But upper room members, before we start officially, I dropped 3 film sessions, right? 2 film sessions are available to everybody right now. It's public. It's on the page. People are checking it out. I believe that should be that should be James Washington and Montravius Adams. Those are the 2 that are public. Upper room members, y'all have a 3rd one, Trey Norwood. Okay, we did a film breakdown on Trey Norwood. So for the upper room members, you know, early access gang, if y'all want to check that out, that is available to you guys right now as well. Everybody else, not available to you just yet, but some of the perks for the upper room. So now that we've tapped on all of our little, you know, what do they call those things? Our little checkpoints, our little to-do list that we need. That's the to-do list. We got the to-do list out the way. Now we can start the show. So let us know where you are tuning in from, and we will give you the shout out.
Donald Copeland already got some of that filming. Says just finished Adams.
Hey, salute, man. Salute. Let's get it, baby.
Bart Basquiato. Mm-hmm. I'm a little disappointed. He seems like he's disappointed in himself, too. Thousand Oaks, California, 8:05, hungover at work, sober. Huh? What am I doing?
Hungover and sober. That's a bad combination, baby.
Dude, what is this, though? Bart Basquiato looks like he has a burner account right underneath him.
Huh.
I'm dead serious. He has one in the upper room, and then someone, I don't know if they're impersonating him. Bart must be like a big-time roller or something.
Wow, Bart has crossed over to impersonator range. I like
celebrity,
that, man.
I don't know, show celebrity maybe.
That's big time status.
You know what? Maybe that could be a thing where you know how people are impersonating me. Not necessarily impersonating me.
Yes, they do.
They're coming up with burner accounts of like Deke's mom or like Deke's chick and stuff. Maybe some people are going to be doing that to show celebrities in the chat. Like we see Shoot the Rock here. He says he's chilling on a Friday afternoon before practice from the 563, but what if there's like a Shoot the Rock burner that just pops up?
And he's like, yo, I ain't chilling in the 563. I'm chilling in the 564.
Who knows, man?
Never know, man.
This opened up the door. A Trina Steele Dina Burr just coming up out of nowhere.
I mean, she already got 3 locations anyway, so man,
who knows?
What will be the next 3, you know?
I know.
I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. All right, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. You're from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Okay, I'm from Norcross, Georgia. And you're from Honolulu. Okay, I'm from Waikiki, Hawaii. There we go. All right.
Jesus Pacheco, San Angelo, Texas, 325. I'll do one more. Send it over to you. Alex P, Brookline, NYC, 347. Unless you're not ready.
I am not ready. You keep
Miles
going
Harrington,
over there, actually.
Tampa, Florida. Off that off-season leftover Ravens pack. All right.
The leftover Ravens pack. Sometimes it's like that, baby.
Juan Rangel, always tuning in from the 702.
All right. I'm back in the building now. Now I'm prepared.
All right.
We got cause man, I hopped in on a name right here. Kasasas Abdul Aziz. I hope I said your name and pronounced it the correct way, but the 925 Pittsburgh, California. Let's go. We also have Mason Hoffman 19, the 740 STC, Ohio. Ben's last season was stolen in all caps as well. All right, question. What is STC, Ohio?
No clue.
Yeah, I was like, that's not Steubenville. I don't know where STC. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds pretty cool though. Did you shout out Jacob Malacio? If not, the 919 North Kakalaki in the house as always, and you know he always on Mars when he with us, and we appreciate you for being that way. P Dubs, the 812, Columbus, Indiana, and Robert Holsler, Hostler, the 717 Central PA, waiting to get this new job so I can get back to Mars. I can understand that as well, man. Got to pass them tests, baby. Keep that sample clean. Yes,
that's pretty nice that they don't test you throughout the job, though.
Yeah,
because I have friends that they'll be subject to random drug testing.
Yeah, one of my best friends, he works for the government, and he's like, yeah, they test me whenever they want, and I'm like, I got you back. Don't worry, buddy. Yeah.
It sucks for them too, because I know my friends they're good at work. They don't mess around or anything. They're good employees. That would never affect them, just having a smoke or two on a weekend. That doesn't affect your job, but I'm sure you can have a Martavis Bryant situation pop up. Yeah, you're opening the door for that.
Yeah. Slippery slope right there, man. Slippery slope. But if you are ready, man, we can get this thing rolling.
Yeah, I can get these super chats real quick. I think we got two.
Let's hit them. Yep.
Let's go, UW. Hey guys, from Obama. So there's a rumor going around that Banner had his playtime cut was because he put on some weight while on IR.
Okay.
I never heard the rumor. That's the first time I'm hearing it.
I was gonna say I didn't either. If that was the case, I mean, it happens. I could understand it. Yeah, but for me, I still would look at that and how much weight are we talking? I don't know. That's what I would need to know, though. Yeah.
He said Obama. Does he mean Omaha? Is there an Obama city?
Bro, I don't know, bro. He got to be Omaha. He's got to be Omaha.
There might be an Obama city.
Obama,
maybe.
Illinois, man.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I mean. Maybe.
I made that up on top of my head, bro. That's because is he from Illinois? He's got to be
that's
from
what
Chicago.
I mean.
So
he was the president, so why not name a city after him?
Yeah,
I feel like
Bush,
that would be
Texas.
the case.
Yeah.
Black Lavender. Needed a break from the Steelers, but I'm back.
Hey, man, back in the saddle. I like it. Now, I understand that, man. Sometimes you do got to take a moment or two to unplug, unwind. I think Trina Still Diva was like that on Monday's episode. I understand. Trust me, I do, man. But that's why we got to keep the we got to keep the versatility and the diversity of the show going. So that way we got more content, different style topics. So that way you're not just thinking about all the hard times. We can focus on some of the good times. But to start it out, man, Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, I believe both of them spoke yesterday to the media, if I remember correctly. Interesting comments from both of them, but the one part that I applaud the organization for doing to save both of them, they had both of their media availability be before they spoke to Coach Tomlin.
They both said that.
Yes. Which obviously makes a lot of sense because we all want to know, what specifically do y'all need to work on from the coach? Because we have our list of things that we think that y'all can improve upon, but what are the coaches telling y'all? So I was like, you know what, y'all, strategic. It was smart because now we just got to wait until they do a one-off interview, or even if they decide to do that or not do that, right? But either way, with both of those guys, obviously the thing that I took from both of their comments initially was they both sound like they are focusing on athletic ability, right? Or at least they know that is going to need to be a prerequisite for Matt Canada's offense. And this has been rebuttal, or not even rebuttal, but has been reiterated by Coach Tomlin when he spoke on whatever day his press conference.
Well, he's been saying it the whole damn season,
talking about mobility as well. So we know that is an issue, and obviously both of those guys, in terms of Mason and Dwayne Haskins, brought that up in their comments. In terms of what they need to improve upon in areas that they can get better. I did like, though, with Mason, just a couple things where he talked about more so the specifics of knowing when to run versus knowing, extending plays to pass the ball. I think that's a part of the growth and development for him as well. But at the end of the day, we know this was like, we're going to be protected in this interview. We're not going to say anything too reckless in this interview. At least that was my perception.
For neither of them, yeah. There was nothing really said. Yeah. It was just a bunch of, looking forward to the chance to compete. Yeah. I think I'm a starting quarterback. Can't wait to prove it.
I was like, oh.
Made mistakes in the past. Yeah. Learning from them, moving on.
He was like,
that's a bunch of both sides.
Haskins on and off the field. I just want to prove this. I'm like, all right. He's like, I talked to Coach T. Like, I do feel like with Haskins, though, he did seem like, I don't know, like they got a little belief in him, though. You know what I mean? Like it feels like he's gonna get that opportunity, or at least low-key.
At least a fair shot.
Yeah, like a fair shot. That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't.
I don't know if he got a fair shot this preseason necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't think he took the reins and won the QB2 position, but Yeah, I think he thinks at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's going to be an open competition.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I did at least like that part because I do feel like last year at times he didn't get the fair shake, and that was part of the reason why even when we talked about evaluating him, it was so tough because we're watching him with 2s and 3s where we're evaluating Mason with the 1s, and it just didn't feel like it was apples to apples right there. It was more apples to oranges. But with that though, had me thinking. I get to thinking every once in a while, man. And I was like, usually when we talk about our opponents, talk about 3 things we like, 3 things we don't like. And we say, you know what? Sometimes it could be difficult, but you can't be in the NFL and not like anything about people, right? Or a team. Regardless of how bad they are, it's always going to be something, some type of attribute, some type of quality that they have. So I wanted to try this exercise today with these individuals, not just those 2, but I also wanted to include Josh Dobbs in this conversation as well, because we know with Dobbs, in terms of where we stand right now, he probably fits Matt Canada's quote unquote offense the best, because we know and we've heard about how much of a premium is put on the ability to run, how much of a premium they put on running the RPO and things like that. And currently Dobbs is the only athlete to that level that could effectively run it. So I want to include him in this as well, but we'll first start with Mason Rudolph.
Okay.
First starting with Mason. Just 3 things we like about him.
Okay.
And this is for y'all in the chat as well. And don't get me with I don't like anything about him. Nah, because you're not going to tell me you don't like anything about him, but then you're going to try to sell me on drafting Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis or any of these other guys coming out right now. Because for all 3 of those dudes, I can tell you firsthand, none of them are definitively better than Mason. None of them are definitively worse than Mason either. But if you're high on those guys for any variety of reason, you gotta be high on Mason. That's just how it goes, baby. So yes, I am forcing you, putting your feet to the fire. 3 things you like about Mason, and only Mason right now. We'll get to Haskins next and then Dobbs after that. But just the Mason element. Let us know the 3 things we like about him. I know for me, the first thing I'll start with is his mental toughness. I start with that because this is a guy that we saw have one of the, bad moments of all bad moments when he got knocked out a year, or was that 2 years ago, right? Earl Thomas style. We know that was rough. A lot of people, they come back from that and they're shaky. They're gun shy. They don't want to take another hit.
A lot of people think he was, though, because of that moment.
Yeah. So,
he did seem a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Who knows, though? Who knows? We could speculate about that.
So I bring that up initially, but I think about how he looked when he returned that season, that Jets game. He didn't look timid.
Game, for sure.
I think about last season, that Browns game at the end of the year. He did not look timid. Even the Lions game. Not saying that he was perfect, but he did not look timid. In fact, we saw him run a guy over and get up and flex on him. For me, that mental toughness is something that I definitely like about him, because it's not easy to have as a young player, as a heavily scrutinized player either, because let's be real. A lot of people scrutinize him year round. We know that part. A lot of scrutiny happens towards him, but for him to still show up, for him to still believe in himself, and for him to still actually want to play here.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the other part.
He keeps saying, I want to be the quarterback here. I don't know why.
Right. It's like, man, if y'all...
Maybe because you have a shot now, but...
Like, if y'all didn't believe in it to that point, you keep talking like, why would I want to show you my talent? I'm going to take my talent over here and hit you with the Mike Hilton. I'm going to be waving at you and posting social media vids on you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to take that approach. But for Mason, he's like, yo, I want to do it here. So for me, that screams, yo, this dude mentally, he's on another level. Because I'm not that mature. I'm not. But I like that about him, man.
Well, there's a few things with that even too. Because I agree with you. The one thing I wrote down on here is overcame adversity.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think right now, as we could look back, hindsight 2020, Duck was the better story. Mm-hmm. But Mason's the better quarterback than Duck.
Yeah.
He just is. More talented. Duck's run lasted about 3 games, and it just completely fell off. But fans would still much rather have Duck in the Steelers system. Even right now, I think everyone just likes Duck better than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. But why? The folk hero.
The cool story. Yeah, it's expectations. It's expectations because Duck, 0 expectations. Mm-hmm. Mason was kind of mucking up the offense. Like, it was dismal for 2 games in a row. The Browns game where he threw 4 picks, and then came in the Bengals game. I don't think we scored in the first half. We're like, all right, something needs to change. Duck came in, won that game, won the Browns game, won the Cardinals game. We were on a high. It's like, oh, man, Duck's looking amazing. Screw Mason. But anyway, people still have those sentiments.
Yeah.
Even though I think as we look at both of their bodies of work, Mason is definitely the better quarterback. So there's that. But also in terms of adversity, I just mentioned it. Him getting benched in that Bengals game. Mm-hmm. And then also the Browns game where he's getting knocked over the head with the helmet, Myles Garrett, that whole thing that played out afterwards
that
too.
Was nuts. And yeah, you're right. This
off the field
because
stuff.
The slander. That I'm glad I totally forgot that part where he essentially accused that man of using a racial slur, and it's like, bro, we won't have to accuse you. There's already enough people that do that. It's kind of like if you accuse everybody of like rape or you accuse everybody of stuff that's like, no, man. You ain't really do that right there. That was not the case. Don't just throw that out there because now you water down the guys who really have to be affected by that. For Mason, he did have to deal with that false accusation, man.
You're 100% right. So from that point to the Jets game, then he got hurt because it was crazy because in that Jets game, I was actually excited to have Mason come in for Duck and how he looked. It was like, oh, wait, we might actually have a chance. If Mason keeps playing like this, because our defense was really good, we might actually have a chance in the playoffs.
Yep.
Then we lost in that Jets game, and it was kind of.
But remember, he also got hurt in that game too. Though
he got hurt.
He got hurt in that game.
That's why we lost. I thought we would have won if we stayed in.
I definitely would agree.
We tied it up 10-10.
Yeah.
All momentum shifted in our favor. But his last 3 games, that Jets game, the Browns game, he looked good in, and the Lions game. Granted, I didn't think he was that good in, but to your point, looked like he belonged. Looked confident. Had some of those runs. I think it was more of just him missing some bad throws, especially towards the middle of the game. He had that really nice first drive, but there were some points where our drives just completely stalled out because he whiffed on people. But then the overtime, it wasn't his fault, and we've talked about that. I mean, it was the on-time
glad that you brought that up too, because I do feel like with Mason in that Lions game, people are so quick to point out him missing Ray McCloud in the end zone, and that's all they want to talk. Oh, he missed him in the If he hit that, it's a different game. And they casually forget the 2 throws that he hit to Deontay and to Pat in clutch moments that both ended with those 2 guys turning the ball over.
The other drive in OT was Kendrick throwing the ball over his head, so that kind of screwed that.
It's like, man, people are quick to minimize that success and highlight the negativity solely to push forward a narrative. And it's like, man, we don't have to do that. Just take the facts, baby. Take the facts. But I do like that. All right. So for me, my second thing that I like about Mason, I do feel like at times, man, I like his deep ball. I think that he throws a nice deep ball when he actually throws it out there. Now, that'll be part of the stuff that we'll talk about in terms of when I criticize him, but I do like when he throws it. I think he has a really nice deep ball. The question is, how often will he throw it and taking the chances of it? But when he does throw it out there, having the chance to see it in practice, me being able to have the chance to see it in a couple of games. Obviously, we know that Browns game was where it was really on display, where he was really taking advantage, hitting Claypool, hitting James Washington, a couple of deep shots from a year ago. To me, I like that about him.
I would just agree with you on that because I have 2 right now. I was trying to think of a third one on the spot. But you're right. In the Browns game, he was having nice deep ball. Didn't he go he had 4. He had 4 nice throws. I don't know what his percentage was. Did he go 4-6, 4-7? Was it 4-5? I can't remember. But he had 4 nice deep shots in that Browns game. And the Jets game, he had some really nice mid-tier throws
and
too.
We all walked away saying yo, maybe he can throw this thing at a high what we saw him coming out of college, because that's what it looked like coming out of college. It was yo, he can throw the deep ball, he can stretch the field, and it just seemed like that year when he first got the opportunity to start, he just would not throw it. And even Randy Fiegner had talked about it. He was like, yo, we got stuff dialed up. He just has to believe it. He has to throw. You remember them comments?
I do remember that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I'll add to that, throwing the deep ball when you got the confidence, when you got that nothing to lose attitude, because that's when we really started to see it in these last 3 games. He didn't really take any deep throws in the Lions game, but in terms of the Browns and Jets game, because it did feel like in that 2019, his first 6 or 7 games, just really conservative. And when he would try to throw it deep, they looked like ducks. I don't know what it was, if he was trying to think too much of his mechanics as he's throwing instead of just letting it loose.
Yeah.
And that was the weird knock. And we would talk to John when we were up at these games, and he was not a big Mason fan, but he was always saying Mason can't throw the deep ball. He's got a weak arm. Right. I never thought he had a weak arm, but it was the release on it, how the ball looked, always did look weird. And it was just what is going on here? Because there's no way his arm strength is not good.
Correct.
Because you're right. That was the
thing
positive coming out of college that everyone talked about.
Yeah.
But then, the last however many games, he just had this nothing to lose attitude and started slinging it, and it looked good. So hopefully, if he is the guy, he keeps that up, or just at least keeps it up for his own sake in the competition.
No, absolutely, man. And then the last positive that I'll speak on, and then we'll do is this actually. So I'll do my last positive, you'll do your last positive, and we'll react and read off the positive comments that people have said as it pertains to Mason Rudolph, what they like about him. All right. And then after that, we'll obviously transition to what we don't like.
Sure.
But for me, the last positive that I have is I like his youth, but experience, because he's still young, right? You talk about a quarterback that's still, what, 25?
No, he's 27.
27? Okay.
He's going to be 27.
So he's not 27 right now. He's turning 27.
Before the season.
Right. So he'll be 27, but he's still young. He's not 30. That's the big thing. And we're talking about experience. He has at least had almost a full season of starts under his belt. We know that, talked about some of the adversity he's overcome, but he also has had some success as well. But either way, he can hang his hat on NFL productivity. Whereas when you talk about, guys that really have not been out there at all or have, less than 4 or 5 starts, there's really not a lot of experience there. You talk about rookie quarterbacks. It's a crapshoot, not a lot of experience there. But at least with Mason, he has had success here, and he's also had failures here. So he knows at least what it takes or what it should take to be consistent going forward.
I'm trying to look up some comparisons, some people that you could look at and have some hope for Mason. One of them was Steve Young. Doesn't look like he really got his chance until 29, 30. I want to see what Rodgers' age was when he finally got his shot.
He's actually a good one too. Yeah,
so he was 3 years on the bench, and not comparing him to either of these guys. I'm just saying,
just in the sense of
like is there a blueprint? Yeah, is there a blueprint out there where you could sit, 4 or 5 multiple years and actually have a solid NFL career? Rodgers, actually, he was young when he started. He was 25. So, yeah, he came out after his junior year.
Gotcha.
He was 22 his rookie year.
I don't even know if Mason redshirted while he was there.
I have no clue. Yeah. But, yeah, he's going on 27. This is going to be his 5th year in the league, too. So, for mine, this is actually another one that I have for negative, too. It's almost like a double-edged sword here. I have protects the ball, because outside of that Browns game, and I don't know if I necessarily like that, because sometimes you want your quarterbacks to be a little bit of a gunslinger out there, because that's what I grew up with. Ben Roethlisberger, some of the greats, just you let it fly. You mix the good with the bad here and there. Because like Joe Burrow,
unless it's Kirk Cousins, then you don't like that.
Well, no, he's actually, I think he has like single-digit picks.
But you don't like him though.
I don't.
Yeah,
he's a stat padder, and when it really comes down to it,
why you gotta be all that, man?
He's a stat pattern when it comes down to it.
Why you gotta be all that, man? Dang on, man.
I don't want him. Yeah, part of me likes this, part of me doesn't.
Yeah.
Because outside of that Browns game where he had the 4 picks, that 2019 season, he ends up with 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Very true.
I think problem with protecting the ball, he has 13 touchdowns on the season. Like, I just want more. I want more of what we were seeing in the last couple games of him, the Jets game, the Browns game. And he said in the interview, he's like, I gotta, what kind of like, I don't think he swore. What did he say? Can't lose attitude, something like that. He's like, I just got that I don't give a shit attitude coming into the season, because I've been to the low and like I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So maybe we will see him sling it out a little bit more, and we talked about that with his deep ball. But the crux of what we've seen so far, the base, is that he's actually kind of decent protecting the ball.
Yeah. I like that. So those were our 3 likes. So now I'm going to go in this chat real quick and hop through some of these to see what people were liking about him and not liking about him. Robert Bennett, he says he likes his age, his motivation, and his deep ball. Let's see.
I got Barilla 92. The mental, deep ball. He says strong chin.
I seen that as well. A Sabo says his hair, his voice, his eyes. Well, I have heard I don't know if he's a playboy or not, but he's out there. People like him. He's always dating someone. I always see he's like Mason with such. I'm like, all right, shout out to the homie.
What's hilarious though, he does not come off that way in the interviews.
He doesn't. Yeah, no, he does not.
He comes off as very much a nerd.
Yeah. It's like, man, maybe he is a chick nigga. I don't know. Jacob Malacio says he loves how tough Mason is. He loves his deep ball. And he loves how he knocked that guy out. Oh, the Lions guy when he ran him over.
Yeah. Oh, he knocked him out for the game?
No, he did. He was asleep, yeah.
Oh, was he?
Bro, yes, he was asleep. That's why he got up and flexed. And that's why I was like, dang, it's funny, man. A year ago, you was on the other end of that. Now, this time around, you flexing.
I didn't know the dude got knocked out for the game.
Yeah, he was asleep, man. Yeah.
Well, all right. We got a comment that you knew was happening.
Uh-oh.
Alex P. 1. Mason is completely garbage.
We're not there yet. So throw that comment away. Bagar Brandon, though, he says he likes his deep ball. He likes the athletic ability. Okay.
I guess that Lions game had some runs.
And he said can take a hit to the head. I guess y'all are wild. Y'all are sick. That's why I'm scared to even go to the next shit, because I already know it's gonna be a lot of this. I already know. All right. But let's see. Brent Fox. Mason's arm strength, his toughness, and coachability. I keep seeing the arm strength come up a lot, man. But not placement, just the strength, though.
We've seen I swear he's kind of accurate on those short passes. I feel like
he is as well. I feel like, if anything, we see a lot more of the short-term accuracy versus like being able to see the deep ball arm strength on display as much. But no, I can dig it.
Yeah, I would say the accuracy might go hand in hand a little bit with what I said about protecting the ball. Now, that's what I think, because it was all short passes, really.
Yeah. And Rod Dolly, he has a similar sentiment: arm strength, pocket poise, and then he goes toughness.
No, I haven't seen enough of that from him.
Okay. Now, what do you define as pocket poise? Just throwing guys off like Ben does?
No.
Or is like stepping up and climbing and just manipulating the pocket?
He didn't look comfortable most of the time. He started to. He actually did in the 3 games that we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, not to keep belaboring that point, but yeah, for most of 2019, he just didn't look comfortable in there.
Yeah. Now, I wonder
he even said that himself. He's like, looking back on 2019, I was making wrong decisions, rushing a little too much here or there.
Now, how much of that do you just chalk up to youth?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, that is one of the big reasons why younger guys struggle at this level, right? They don't feel as confident. They don't feel like they have the time, because everything happens so much faster at the NFL level. So reads that you can make in college, you get to the NFL, you don't feel like you got that time to make that read. The rushers, your O-line, you feel like you got way more time behind that O-line in college than you do in the league. So I wonder, did that play a part in that as well for him? Because like you said, these 3 games we mentioned from a positive perspective are what? The end of the rookie season, the second,
short sample,
the end of the second year. Then it was the 3rd season. So it's like it's further and further, right? So that's the part where I wonder, was the uncomfortable element more so just a youth related thing, whereas now as we continue to get further away, we do see more confidence in the pocket from him.
Yeah, because actually I thought he looked confident in preseason.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I thought he had a fine preseason. I know a lot of people were trying to rip on him, but not everything was his fault. The only bad play I really remember is the fumble on the jet sweep. Everything else, I remember Claypool dropping a wide open slant.
The fumble was on him, though. It wasn't like it was.
I blame Canada, if anything.
I know you don't like the jet sweep. We know.
No, I'm real mad about Canada now, dude.
Oh, so it's just him in general.
I do not want him back.
It's just all Canada.
Oh man, I am not thrilled. I'm not thrilled. I got to stew at my house on my couch and think about all the dots we were connecting. I'm like, this really was treason that happened before my very eyes this season.
Deke said, no, I don't care about anything else y'all talk about. It is always Canada to me from here on out. All right, man. I can respect it, bro. I can respect it.
Really disappointing.
It is pretty funny, though, bro. It is pretty funny.
I wish I would have came to my senses earlier, like during the season. Maybe I could have done something about it. Maybe. Like midway through the season, I could have had some State of the Union or something.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get rid of Canada.
It
like,
is funny,
Ben
though,
ain't
bro.
running this offense. He's placating him too much. Like, I could have done something, maybe. I wish I could have done more.
Maybe next time.
There isn't. That's why I'm mad.
With Haskins, because you already said Haskins your quarterback going forward. Man, we already said you drew your line in the sand. So, when this comes back full circle and it's Haskins' time to, be sabotaged and things like that, then you could be like, bro, I can't believe they would do this, man. Like, I got all this love for my man Haskins. You know what I mean? So that's how it works, man.
Problem. Here's the problem. Is because I don't think, and we talked about this, I don't think Canada was brought in for Ben. So I don't think there is going to be any sabotaging here with Haskins and Mason. That's what I mean. It was specifically to the greatest franchise quarterback.
You bring up a good point
in our history, and that's something I guess I'm always got to live with. It might be one of those things. Man. I got to just always remind people as the years go by, just so they don't forget.
Yeah. All right. So that was our 3 positives.
Yeah.
On him, because like I said, we don't want to make this like a crazy 40-hour podcast as we're talking about our 3 quarterbacks. Now we're going to talk about the 3 negatives, though, about Mason. What don't we like? And do you want to go first, Miss, since I went first with the positives?
Yeah, I'll just go from where I left off about protecting the ball. I didn't like the conservative nature that he was bringing to the table early on in 2019. It just seemed like the offense was really stagnant. I know we didn't have the best weapons around us.
Yeah.
But we've heard those interviews from Finkner, those sound bites of him saying, "No, we're opening it up for him a little bit. It's just he's not really taking the shots." Now, I've never watched film, really. I mean,
you're good, bro.
I've never watched film. I was gonna say, looking back on the film, I saw some guys wide open and he was missing them. But no, I can't even say I was looking at that. But I remember people talking about it a little bit. And yeah, he didn't take any of those shots.
Yeah,
he never did. And I think he could have opened up the offense for us. Just, it's weird looking back because the way we talk about him in this preseason, the way we're talking about him, slinging it with potentially the deep ball being one of his strengths, it just wasn't the case. Now I wonder, and he said this in the interview, was it because Ben was technically still on the roster? Did he feel like with Ben going down, he had to save the season and he was just trying too hard, pressing mentally, and it was just too much for him, too much of a burden? Because now he was even saying, and Ben even said this in his last interview, yeah, Mason might have a little bit more of a free spirit coming into the season because I'm not going to be around. Him knowing that it's his to lose, he can finally take that leadership role.
Or feeling like you got to be in his shadow the whole time if you were to ever get that opportunity ahead of him.
That's what I wonder. And what's interesting to me, and how I'm looking up that Steve Young age statistic and stuff, and the Aaron Rodgers, everyone's got different stories with this because we'll talk about Mason's 2019. Part of me's bro, you see some of these young quarterbacks come in, Herbert, Burrow, and they're slinging it right off the bat. There's no confidence issues. That's what I want in my quarterback. Right off the bat. Yeah. I don't want any of this we're making excuses for Mason. But at the same time, everyone's got their own story with this. You could probably go through countless people in NFL history where they've had struggles early on and they've made it right. So we'll see with Mason. We'll see. We'll cut him some slack. We'll see what he can do.
I like it. And I don't know if I had said it or not, but let us know in the chat the 3 things that you do not like about Mason's game. Just 3 things. Just Mason, not anybody else. Just 3 things we don't like about Mason. All right. So for me, yeah, I'll start with the consistency element for me. When I watch him, at times he flashes. At times he looks like he has some of the prerequisites of being a QB1 or even a franchise quarterback. At times it flashes, but it's just not consistent enough. The sample size hasn't been large enough of the high quality play, of the deep throws, the consistency. And to me, when you talk about, like you said, man, what I want in a quarterback, I want a guy that I can believe in. I want a guy that is going to show up and give me the same thing over and over, or at least 95% of the time. And even with Ben, regardless of what we would say about him, we know, okay, with certain things that this is what we can hang our hat on with him because he consistently showed it, and he showed it for a long time, which is why he's a future Hall of Famer. But with Mason, we just haven't seen it. Not consistently enough. Like you said, even watching him in practice, some days it's like, yo, he looks really good, like the best quarterback out here. Other days you're like, all right, is that the receiver? Is that him? Is this O-line? I just don't know. And that's a part of that consistency that I just need to see more of from him. And until I see that, I can't like that about him. So.
Yeah. I'm actually, I have inexperience as my second one.
No, it is very valid. Yeah.
I kind of want to say more small sample size.
Yeah.
And you can even combine that with the inconsistency, because would you say that Lions game is basically the epitome of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's the epitome of it right there.
You miss
first drive was
first
scored.
drive
Boom.
looked great. Rest of the drives you look kind of underperforming. You miss Ray, but then you hit 2 nice throws in stride to Pat and Deontay, obviously in clutcher moments. But like you said, it's just a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. 1 minute you're running with confidence, you run a guy over, you flex. Other minutes we're like, are you a statue? Can you move? It's just too up and down. And it's one thing, because nobody's going to be a flat line the whole way through. Everybody has this, but you want to have it as minimum as possible. You think about when you watch Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, even vintage Ben, it's like you weren't getting elite play and then terrible play, and then elite play and then terrible play. It was like, yo, it's always going to teeter in that range. Whereas with Mason, some days, like you said, he's up here.
I remember him completely whiffing Kalen Balaj.
Right. Then other times it's like, bro, what is this?
In that Lions game.
Absolutely, bro.
So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Just small sample size, because that actually, in a way, negates a ton of the positives, because a lot of the positives we are talking about in this small window. Yeah. Oh, we saw it in the Browns game. We saw it in the Jets game. We saw it here, there, in the Lions game. Saw it in preseason. That's about it, because the majority of the body of work isn't as good. It's more of the conservative throws. Yeah. It's not looking as comfortable. Where's the leadership trying too hard? I think that's the majority. That's probably 70 or 80% of what we've seen of Mason. But we've seen the flashes, so that's why I'm going to say small sample size. It hurts a lot of the positives.
Unfortunately, it definitely does, but that is the reality of it, man. That definitely is. For me, the second thing, though, that I don't like about with Mason, this is kind of the low-hanging fruit here, or maybe a mix of opinion, but I don't like his mobility. I know people had talked about his athletic ability. I know we talked about it kind of in a highlight of, hey, man, you know, we're seeing him improve in that area. He even talked about it in the interview where he said that, you know, that's something that the strength and conditioning coaches have helped him improve upon. But at the same time, we're not going to sit here and act like he's a legitimate threat to run the ball. It's not going to act like his legs can dictate what coverage you can play against him. That's what I'm looking for. That's when we talk mobility. That's what I'm referring to, because there's certain guys, even a Patrick Mahomes, who's probably the least mobile of the elite tier quarterbacks, right? When you're talking about Rodgers, when you're talking about Allen and Lamar, well, maybe Rodgers.
I was gonna say, I think he's got Rodgers,
because I'm thinking like older Rodgers. Oh, like
Rodgers
older Rodgers
can still move though.
But no, like the old, like vintage Rodgers I thought he could move better. I did personally. I like it. They both what? Either way, though, what I'm alluding to is this: those two guys aren't the, you know, pinnacle of athletic ability, but they're still very much way more athletic than Mason Rudolph is. And they make you play certain coverages, because if you turn your back to those guys and play man-to-man, they can hurt you. 20-plus yards scramble. We've seen that from both of those guys. Mason, I don't feel like is capable of that. Not right now, at least. Could grow to it, maybe, but, and even then, I don't know if you grow in like that type of speed, that, you know, in a couple months. But to me, that's something that, you know, I don't like about him. I don't like the lack of mobility. I would like to be a lot better than that, especially in today's NFL. And then when you pair it with Matt Canada, just because of we know what he is trying to accomplish as well.
I got for my third, I don't know. I probably even touched on this with a bunch of my spiels there. I got leadership. It just didn't seem like he was galvanizing the troops like that. It was more of our defense being the leaders of that 2019 season. But it goes back to, you know, Ben goes down. Like, he's been the city's hero for as long as he's been here. Like, that's just tough. And Merrill Harsh talked about that in the interview you did. It's probably tough just to come in for him. I can't imagine. But there are people that do it. I mean, Rodgers did it after Favre. Like, even going back to like Jimmy G under Brady, like, he didn't. Jimmy G had like the confidence in him.
Yeah,
like
but hold on,
I don't give a crap.
Jimmy G? I forgot. Huh? I thought Jimmy was an earlier pick as well, wasn't he?
Second, yeah.
Yeah, he was second. Obviously, we know with Rodgers, he was what, end of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was into the first. No, yeah, he was into.
He was. Yeah. He was like 24, 25.
At the end of it. Yeah. So
Jimmy G's probably the better example because he had to sit behind Brady a little bit, but when he did get his shot, when Brady had like those suspensions, they went like 3-0, and it's not like they missed a beat at all.
Yeah, very true.
So that's what I mean. That's why I gotta throw that up as a negative for Mason.
Yeah. I can respect it, man. And then the last negative that I have before, you know, we open up to the chat and, you know, read some of their negatives about him as well is the risk management element. That was what you were alluding to when you talked about some of the things you like, but double-edged sword in terms of how he's protecting the ball. He doesn't turn it over. I think his risk management, it needs to be recalibrated. I think that he is a little bit too focused on minimizing the risk element for the sake of cutting down turnovers versus, hey, man, you got to cut it loose at times. You're going to make mistakes. You always hear the cliche, you can't make an omelet without breaking an egg. Like, those it's just part of it. You can't play to not mess up. You can't play to be perfect because you're never going to be perfect. It's the NFL. You're just a human. I mean, it's how it goes. So with that being said, man, I do feel like he needs to open up and take more chances with the ball. Push the ball down the field more, put the ball in tighter windows, or at least attempt to put it in tighter windows. Right now, if he doesn't see a guy be clearly open, you know, he's not trying to throw a guy open. He's not trying to make that defender actually make the play. Just because a guy's in position doesn't mean he's going to make the play. I mean, how many times do we talk about the elite quarterbacks where it's like, yeah, that guy had him blanketed, and he still put that ball where only that receiver can get it. Well, we don't even know if Mason's capable of that because we never see him take those chances. So that's why, for me, risk management is a big negative for me as it pertains to Mason.
Yeah, not a lot at least, because he did have some tight throws in the Browns game he came in for. I mean, he had over 300 yards. He took that shot to Claypool on like 4 times. Claypool actually caught a couple contested balls in that game.
But remember, what happened? Like in that game, the yardage ballooned because he hit 4 deep throws. Yeah. Like that was the difference.
And they were good. They were good balls. Yeah. The one to Deontay too.
Absolutely. But like to me, it's like we're only talking about one opportunity.
I know.
Of that. And that's
goes
my
back
thing.
To
it's
small
like I want to see
even.
more. I want to see you take some chances with that ball. Prove to me that your arm is elite. I don't know if you got elite arm talent. I don't know if you got average arm talent because you don't take enough chances, because I don't see enough of it. So, and part of that could be the product of him knowing that, hey, I don't have a long leash. I'm not the starting quarterback. If I come out here and mess up, maybe they will, try somebody else out, because he has been pulled before in a game. We've seen that with the Bengals game with Duck. So those things still remain in his, chemical makeup mentally. So it's not like that's just going to disappear, but I don't think that should be the reason why he continues to not take risks. I think he does have to start, taking some chance with that rock, man.
He said that, it wasn't perfect back in 2019. He's made errors and he's had some low moments. Yeah. And from the interview, it seemed like he's not running away from that. He's acknowledging it. And he said, if anything, it's all that stuff's made me a better person. All the adversity we talked about in the first portion of this. So, yeah, I mean, this is his chance to prove it. Because, you can either make the most of it, rise above, or it's just kind of like who you are. It's almost overtaking you in a way.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that's not the case with him.
All right. So, those are your 3. Now, let's look in the chat. Let's see what the 3 things
I'm not seeing any positives.
Well, no, this is good. We didn't want any positives. This is the negative section right here. We're good. So it's been negative.
Shit.
I would say, Lord, man, if they send in positives and we talking negatives, but we all messed up.
Okay.
Were those your positives? Is that what you were telling me?
No. I did my positives first. I got confused, though.
I was like, Lord.
I got confused.
I said, Deke, if that's what you call positive, Lord.
I'm sorry.
All right, but funny making JG, he says, number 1, he doesn't like the turnovers about him. He doesn't like his inconsistency, and he doesn't like the fact that he can't read defenses. Now that's interesting. Now the can't read defense part could go back to what I was saying about when you're young as a rookie, the speed, everything feels so much faster. So even though in a classroom, yes, he can read a defense, when you're looking at it from college speed to that NFL speed, man, it's like watching film in like 16x fast forward. You know what I mean? It's super quick, man. So I do think part of it was that. I'm not willing to just say he can't read defenses completely, but I can understand why you would feel that way about him. Marlon Nicholson says pocket awareness, holds on to the ball too long, and his inconsistencies as well. Wilbur Henry says inconsistency, not reading the defense, and his pocket awareness. What you got on your end?
Knight Rider. These are good ones. Low ceiling, inconsistent on short throws, arm strength not elite enough for his size. This is interesting because the inconsistent on short throws, I could see that, but I could also see where some of his short throws were the best part of his game, at least early on. But I could also see what he's talking about. We saw in the Lions game. We've seen that pop up. Arm strength not elite enough for his size. I could see it because if you're talking about the early part, absolutely. But then you talk about the Jets and the Browns and that type of stuff. No, it looks like he does have arm strength. Yeah. He just wasn't utilizing it enough. So that's a good one. Low ceiling's interesting to me. That's the interesting one because what is his ceiling? Is his ceiling just Jimmy G?
I mean, that's not a low ceiling. Like, people disrespect that. Like, that's not a low ceiling. It's not. It's not.
It's not the type of guy that we're used to. I'll just put it that way.
What you're used to is one thing, but we're comparing a Hall of Famer to what the league average is and trying to put Jimmy G as a league average quarterback solely because he's not a Hall of Famer. To me, that's a Pittsburgh flaw. Pittsburgh people do that a lot. And I get it.
Dude, we've only had a franchise quarterback. At least people my age. Like, we've only had that guy.
That's why I don't fault you, but you'll see. Like, the slam
I hope
Jimmy
we don't
G
have
is
to
not
see.
like that.
I hope we don't have to see, dude. I can't do it. I can't do some of the stuff that you were talking about up in Buffalo. I'll go crazy. I already had the 2019 season.
So then
we went crazy.
So who's the Hall of Fame quarterback that's walking in the door then for this season? Because if you do not have a Hall of Fame quarterback, that is what it looks. It looks like how this year looked. That's what it looks like. It's inconsistent. It's flashes. It's can you do it for 4 quarters? That's what it looks like, man. Jimmy G ain't down that far. Don't slander Jimmy. If Jimmy G was here right now, I don't think we're singing these tunes the way we talking about Mason and Haskins and those guys. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Oh, we have Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
We actually really like Jimmy G, is what you're saying.
You'll find out. It's cool. When we see Mason or Haskins or Dobbs or whoever comes in here take a team to a Super Bowl, when we see that, then we can make the case that they're better than Jimmy G. But we have not seen
that. No
and
one's making that case. But you're talking about ceiling.
Yeah, because like when we talk about Jimmy G, it's always a negative connotation when we're referring to him. And to me, I'm like, Jimmy G is still a daggone really good quarterback. Is he a Hall of Famer? No. But when we talk Hall of Famers, as we broken down, it's 7 quarterbacks that we feel legitimately above reproach are franchise caliber or future Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks. And then after that, it's going to get real dice when you start trying to make a list of 10 guys. So with that being said, you're not always going to have that. But Jimmy G is daggone closer to that next tier than he is the bottom tier. And that's all I'm saying.
I'll give you with that. I'll definitely. I don't know what to make of that ceiling, though. If it's just Jimmy G.
Oh, so going to a Super Bowl isn't a good ceiling. All right, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool. So what's a good ceiling for you then? If it's not going to a Super Bowl? Because that's what Jimmy G has done.
Like I said,
you look at the wins, you look at the statistics, you look at what Jimmy G has accumulated. You tell me if that's considered is that a bad ceiling? Because that's a bad ceiling, man. We're gonna have a lot of guys falling short, baby.
This is gonna be tough for me, dude.
Yeah.
You have to be patient. You have to be patient.
Yeah, I would say if you gonna put that there, Jimmy G done won multiple times in the playoffs as well. Not as the big dog either, as underdog. Like that's all I'm saying, man. If we saying Jimmy G is the bad, if that's the baseline, bro, it's a lot of quarterbacks we're gonna be really pissed off with, man.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because Jimmy, like I said, he done took you to a Super Bowl. He done won multiple playoff games.
Probably, dude.
Yeah.
It just feels like settling in a way.
All right.
But that's why I talked so highly on Ben when everyone wanted to throw him out the door. It's like, dude, these Hall of Fame franchise quarterbacks don't come around.
No. But the difference was
because the only way is like you got to trade out the ass or get lucky with your draft pick.
I hear what you're saying, but when people started talking about Ben, it was because his play started to fall from Hall of Fame level and look more in that Jimmy G level, where you're asking yourself, well, how consistent is it? Is this more of a flash? Is this more week to week? That's why people started saying that about 7. Nobody was saying that about 7 when he was doing what 7 does consistently for 4 quarters. That wasn't the case.
I've seen enough this season of 7 doing what he does to know that Canada hijacked these first halves and everything. That Vikings game, you can't tell me. You can't tell me. Still didn't have it in the tank. You can't tell me. That was a month ago.
All I'm saying is if Jimmy G is what you don't want, then I ain't want that 7 version either. That's all I'm saying. You heard what I said?
I'll take 7 back with like Todd Haley and like a good coordinator.
Now you want to go in the past? We're not talking about the past. We talk about right now.
No. I'm just saying I'm saying a good coordinator. I'll take 7 with a good coordinator and a revamped offensive line for sure going into next year.
I mean, I hear you.
Jimmy, low ceiling. I don't know. I don't know what low ceiling is. Low ceiling to me. I told you, I'm so black and white with this, where it's just like you're either the guy that I think can lead us to the Super Bowl, you're the guy that I think you can win, trust, the franchise guy. You're either that or you're not for the most part. Because outside of the franchise guys, we've had 2 outlier scenarios in Joe Flacco, who just played amazingly for 4 playoff games, and then Nick Foles, who did the same.
Yeah.
But those are just like you're not expecting that going into a season. That's just lucky.
Hold on. What are you saying right here?
Like Joe Flacco played like a Hall of Fame franchise quarterback for 4 games in a playoff.
Yes, but at the same
time, Nick Foles did as well.
But no. But this is the thing. Like I think those are different because Joe Flacco was already still a starting quarterback. Joe Flacco to me was very much like a Jimmy G in the sense of had success, but the question was, could he go on a postseason run? Could he go from really good to elite?
I don't think Jimmy G could ever do what Flacco did, though. Well, Flacco at least had the talent, the arm, and stuff.
Think about it. He was literally one throw away from winning a Super Bowl, so we cannot sit here and act like that.
That's the unfortunate thing with sports. It just is.
And that's perfect. But the fact that we try to account, and so we're essentially going to say one throw is the biggest reason why we don't trust him, to me, I think that's a little bit, not the best mentality, but I can understand the approach. To me, I think with Nick Foles, it was different because he wasn't a full year starter. When he came in and won that Super Bowl, the groundwork was already laid. Carson Wentz did most of the work that season. He came in with last 2 regular season games and then postseason he had his run. To me, that's extremely small. I don't feel as confident going with that as I would with the Joe Flacco, which is why I said the Jimmy G and Joe Flacco I thought were similar because they both had won a lot. They both have started multiple games and started that season from the beginning. And then it was just the surprise element of, can they actually do this? Are they really doing this? Oh, dang on, that boy Joe Flacco actually won one. This is nuts. Like that type of feeling. Whereas with Nick, I don't like if Nick would have been a starter from week 1, I personally don't think they win it. I don't think that it plays out like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference to me with those situations.
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. Those guys are outliers because think of all the guys that have won Super Bowls, franchise QBs. Those are the outliers. And Flacco played like Jimmy G did not play like Flacco. Flacco played unreal in those playoffs.
If we go back and look.
Oh, if you want to go to the 80s and 90s, sure.
But no, I'm saying even in the 2000s, like I know Brady gets a ton of
That's probably it. I'm telling you, dude, because it was. I mean, it was Ben, like Manning. I mean, that's early 2000s. I'm saying, it's like for me from like 03, 04 all the way up until now. It's basically been the franchise guys outside of Flacco and Foles.
Okay,
and Flacco had one of the greatest like playoff runs ever for a quarterback, and Nick Foles. I mean, he played unreal too. So that's the thing. I just don't know if Jimmy G has that type of potential to elevate the team because he made it to the Super Bowl. Throwing 80 yards in like the NFC Championship game, and that team was awesome around him.
But we're not gonna act like he still didn't do stuff throughout that season.
No. That was a really good season for him, for sure. Yeah, he missed out on. It's kind of like Jared Goff too. He missed out on an opportunity there.
One. Absolutely, he's another prime example of like a guy that we don't view as elite, but you know, if he plays a little bit better, hit a throw here or there, that's a difference for them in that game. Now, I do feel way more confident in Jimmy G if he would have got another chance to making that throw versus Jared Goff just waking up and be a better player in the Super Bowl. I don't feel like that. I thought what New England's approach was exposed Jared Goff in the cheating system that they had. And that's what I was telling you. It's like, yo, he had a helper out there the whole time. Whereas at least with Jimmy G, it's like, man, he has to do this by himself. He's not having a coach tell him, all right, they're in this. All right, look to the right, but you're going to throw a left. All right, go and stop the ball right now. I'm like, bro, you're cheating. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So now that that's been exposed, he ain't looked the same since then, man.
Where we at on all this? Are we going to Haskins now?
Yeah, because dang, we're at 3:30 almost. All right. We'll
speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, because we got other stuff we got to talk about. So with Haskins, drop your 3 things in the chat that you like about him. All right, and we will read those off in a few.
You want to just list off the 3?
That's what I was going to do, just to get it going.
Just list off the 3.
So for me with Dwayne Haskins, the 3 things that I like about him, I like his arm. I think that he has it's extremely talented arm. That I can't deny that at all. Also, in a weird way, I like his confidence. In the sense, man, when we saw him play in the preseason, we knew that the situations weren't always the best, but we said he looked like he just belonged. He looked like he believed. He looked like, you know what, bro, I got this. I don't care who we are here with. And even when you hear him speak, you can hear that confidence come out of his mouth. So I definitely like that. And I cannot deny just the high-end pedigree position. I think with that, there are certain things that you just hang on it. It's hard to put like a value on, hey, man, this guy being a top pick and what that means. But as a player, I can explain it in the sense of, man, when you're out there with a first rounder or a top 15, top 10 guy or a guy of that caliber talent, number one, the talent jumps off. You can just see it. They look differently, but you also believe in them. You believe that, hey, if he can just hit that switch, if it ever clicks, he's going to be able to be special. He can be more special than any of us. That's how we would talk about Bud Dupree for a while.
Mario Williams. Yeah. Those type
we
of
were
guys.
Just like, yo, he's special. He might not be the most productive right now, but he has gifts that none of us can do. You know what I mean? We can all put our stuff together and we still can't do that. If it ever clicks, these are the guys that you talk about. And with Haskins, that's the conversation. It's like, if it clicks, you know what it can become. And guys believe in that. Guys want it to click. So I do feel like that intangible, like I just spoke on, like I said, I don't know how to put a name or a value on it, but that belief that guys will have just looking at him because they know what he did in college, because they know he was a top pick, because of those things, man, it just happens like that. Now, it doesn't last like that forever. Because the longer you get removed from that draft status, from those positive moments, the more people forget about that. But right now, he's in that prime spot where people still believe.
A little unknown.
Absolutely. So that's the third thing that I like about him, man.
To piggyback off that third thing, we were just talking about ceiling. Haskins, he has that top 10 potential.
Mm-hmm.
He has that franchise quarterback potential.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll realize it or not, but let's hope so. I mean, I talked about Mason realizing his potential, and I just want to see good competition. Either one of these guys. One of these guys got to step up one way or another. But like Haskins, with his talent, definitely could be that guy. Which is why I'm high on him. I'm really hoping, because he does have the higher ceiling than Mason.
Yeah.
Definitely does. Like if we're gonna compare, if you want to say Mason ceiling to Jimmy G, Haskins, yeah, I think, oh man, yeah, Burrow. I mean, Burrow's a good one. I know Burrow's young, but I mean, he beat out Burrow to have a good arm. I don't want to say Mahomes because I don't think he's as mobile.
I don't think he's as crafty as Mahomes.
Right. Either. Whereas like Burrow, I think is a good example because Burrow isn't the most mobile guy, but he could get around, and that's how Haskins is. If he leaves the pocket, he could be fast.
Yeah. I just wonder, because I haven't had a chance to see Haskins in these moments like Burrow.
Right, exactly.
If he has that that dog, that killer. Because we talked about it, it's like you look at Burrow.
Maybe that's the hope, though. He beat out Burrow.
Yeah, because you look at Burrow in some of these moments, you're like, bro, he just looked like he's ready to stab you to death, prison style with the shank. Like, I don't know if Haskins has that in him just yet. But maybe he do. We're gonna get. Hopefully, we get a chance to see it, man. Hopefully, we get a chance.
That's what I mean. We'll find out. So yeah, I'm with you. Cannon of an arm. What did Ben say? You could throw the ball through a car wash; it won't get wet.
He definitely said
that. So I'm with you. Yeah, definitely Cannon. That jumped off the screen for sure in those preseason games.
No, for a fact, man.
I have faster than Mason.
I would.
Whenever straight line, he's actually pretty fast. He's not as good like in the pocket. Like I don't really want him running those RPOs that are Canada's staple. Yeah. But I think just straight line, if he could get outside, he can make dudes miss and gain 10 yards for sure.
And that was some of the stuff that when we did the film breakdown on him a year ago when we had first acquired him, that was one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was the mobility, because a lot of people were under this assumption that he's a statue and he can't run. And it's like, no, he just doesn't run like Lamar and Josh and these elite runners, but he can still move. And we put some of those clips up there as well, man. So, yeah, I like that.
And my last one is he's on his last leg. AB type of stuff. You know, it's his AB type of stuff.
Back against the wall, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. On his last leg, and he was on his last leg this whole season. Yeah. And we could look back to preseason. He had a good preseason. And to piggyback off what you said, whenever he started playing, we saw that confidence. We saw that he took like a leadership step with the team, because I think those were the only touchdown drives we had in the preseason for the first 3 games, and they were all from Haskins.
Yes,
they're all from Haskins, and then Dobbs would have 1 or 2 at the end.
Correct. Yeah, but that was definitely the case, man. That was definitely the case.
That's my 3 for Haskins.
All right, so I'm going to read through what some of the regular chats had said about their things they do like. And the super chats, I see super chats. I was trying to make sure we finish. Just trying to finish this quarterback conversation before we tap into the supers, because then from there it'd be cool to get our transition on. So we're gonna speed it up just a little bit. I got you though. But the things that the people don't, or the things that the people like about Haskins, Todd Sikowski says his arm strength, his upside, and the swagger. I think that's what we both were alluding to.
Yeah.
I am Pat Firemove says his mobility, his arm, and his confidence. Hey, we appreciate you, Pat. We're fan to you as well, man. Keep doing your thing. All right. Knight Rider 16 says arm strength, smarts, and pedigree. All right. What's it? Jakey Poo 332. Shout out to Jakey Poo 332. Says mobility, arm strength, and his ceiling. What you got anything on your end, you see, man?
I'm seeing Wally Locke bring up something for ceiling. He says ceiling is BS. Drew Brees proved that wrong.
Okay.
It's a good point. I think even Russell Wilson. Wilson's a good point to that. Like, what's their ceiling? Like, they're limited, but like they've made the most of everything in the league. They've I guess, dripped out every ounce of talent that they had to try to like, make it work by hard work, simply. I mean, yeah, good for them. So, maybe ceiling's a little overrated. It's more that mentality.
Hey, man, I'm with it, bro. Trust me. I'm sure they had a ceiling on me somewhere, too. Hey, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, baby.
Right. 9 years in the league. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Believe yourself, man. Believe yourself, baby. All right. Now, let's transition. 3 things we don't like about Dwayne Haskins. Let us know in the chat as well, man. 3 things that you guys don't like about Dwayne Haskins. Not like I don't like him because he's, this. Just like which attributes. Just clarify that, right? So, for me, the first thing is mobility. And the reason I say mobility is because I'm comparing it to what Matt Canada in his offense wants. they do in terms of Matt Canada what he wants a Lamar Jackson, a legit dual threat. And we said Dwayne Haskins, he can run, but he's not a dual threat guy. So that's why I have to have that as a negative, because it technically doesn't fit with Matt Canada. Now, if we didn't have Matt Canada, was a different coordinator, I'm not bringing up mobility. But when you know, okay, he wants RPOs and zone reads, stuff like that.
They said it in the interview, though. Here's what they said in the interview is, like, you don't have to be that guy. Right. I guess it's just wait and see. Then how good is Matt Canada?
And that's what I'm trying to
figure out. Because why couldn't he figure it out this year?
Exactly. So that's why, for me, I'm like, I hear them say that, but the actions say something totally different. So for me, you know how I feel. I mean, you can say one thing, but what the actions say, and I'm going to put them together, and that's we compare and contrast. And I'm not hearing this, oh, nobody cares about mobility, because clearly that was one of the bigger issues with this offense and what Matt Canada wants to do. So yes, I have to put mobility up there because of that.
You want to list
the second thing? Yeah, I'm going to knock them all out. Then the second thing for me, and this kind of got put to rest, so I'm 50% with this comment, but judgment. Now, the reason I say that is this. We know what happened in Washington and why he ultimately got out of there. Now, when he was here, he was under the radar. We didn't have anything. The biggest thing was, he had a cell phone in warmups. Hey, I already told you, I had my cell phone along with thousands of other NFL players in warmups. It happens, okay? But the reason I say judgment is this. It's easier to have good character and make good decisions while you're not in the limelight.
Yeah.
Since he's been in Pittsburgh, he hasn't been in the limelight. It's been Mason. He's been under the radar. How does that judgment look when he gets that job again, potentially? When you become the starter again? Because the last time we saw you in that role,
that's good. Yeah.
Your judgment was horrendous on and off the field. So until we get a chance to fully see that part, I have to bring that up because we just I haven't seen it otherwise when you've been the guy just yet. Like I said, great job this season. That's why I said I'm 50% with it, but you know how it goes, man. When you don't have people talking about you, it's easy to go under the radar. But then when you're in that spotlight and everybody's telling you how great you are, you're the starting quarterback. Do you go back to thinking you're above the law? Do you have an AB moment? We talk about, you see AB when he's in trouble, when he's, having to be quiet is one AB. You see AB when he's, on cloud nine, he feel like he's a superstar. It's a whole nother version. You like, bro, you can't be like that, man. You gonna get all us in trouble. I just don't know with him right now. So that's why for Haskins, that's my second thing. And then the last thing is the consistency part. Just, I need to see it. We've seen flashes of it, but very, very similar to what we talked about Mason and what I'm going to say about Dobbs, in the sense of we've seen flashes. We've seen the potential. We understand why he was taken where he was taken. We understand why he was successful at Ohio State, but it hasn't been consistent enough at the NFL level. We haven't seen it 4 quarters at a time. We haven't seen it for a larger sample size, full season, consistent play. So that's why I have that up there as well, man.
Yeah. We pretty much agree on all three, because I have... Hold on. I got to get my password right here. my screen's unlocked.
Benjamin Roethlisberger, the GOAT. 777, the GOAT. Ben over
Dude,
Brady.
I can't get my password right here.
You gonna lock your computer out, bro?
I might. All right, no, we're good.
Which one was it?
Nah. What, my password?
Yeah, which one was it?
Nah, don't worry about it.
All right, it's cool, bro.
All right, so, I actually have one that's kind of different.
Okay, let's hear it.
Bad tape, bad performances in Washington.
I like that.
Yeah. Footwork, you could talk about decision.
Yeah.
He had good garbage time moments with Washington, but if you watch a bunch of those games, it's not really good.
Yeah, his technique and mobility, that was one of the big things. The knocks that we had on him was his footwork. We said when his footwork was good, the throws look good. When his footwork is off, the throws look horrible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then obviously I have off-field / judgment, and you're right. As of late, 100% fine.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, that's really all it was with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can blame him completely. You have to take accountability, though, obviously, if you're him. But I think he was kind of set up to fail. I don't think Gruden wanted him. Mm-hmm. He went back to his hometown.
Correct.
Probably every time he thought he was doing something right, Gruden would knock him down, not start him, not get him in. There were stories out there where he couldn't do anything right, it felt like.
Yeah, it was definitely toxic, bro.
But you got to take accountability. Still, you're in the NFL. Yeah. You still got a great opportunity. The coach isn't going to be there forever if this type of stuff happens. And that's eventually what happened. Gruden wasn't there anymore, but then you kind of missed out on your own opportunity there because Ron Rivera wasn't too thrilled with you either whenever he came in. Yeah. So I'll include that for sure. And then inexperience. just because the sample size is really small on him too. It's kind of like Mason in a way. I mean, Mason's is a little bit more, but at the same time, the verdict's still out on both these dudes.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. No, I like that, bro. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So going into the chat, bro, y'all are wilding too. Y'all are wilding with some of these. I should have thrown a prerequisite out there. You cannot bring up anything dealing with his love relationships, because obviously that was the whole...
If anything, he had good decision making. He stayed calm.
He handled it well. Right. I know he handled it well. That's
he was at the softball game shortly after that too.
And we could tell. It was like, I'm not gonna stare, but yeah. He definitely, I would say he did handle that well, man. He did handle that well. So y'all chill on that slander, all right? Y'all chill on that part. But Cornell Banks, he starts with he doesn't like his awareness, and he lists that 3 times in a row. Awareness. What
I will say, though, bringing up the softball game and how that whole situation was around the same time, like if anything, that just shows commitment, sticking to his word,
to actually show up.
Because that could have been the easiest out for him not to show up at that celebrity softball game.
When we pulled up, we thought he wasn't going to be there. We're like, bro, he just got to this team, man. He has this situation pop up right now.
He was the surprise, actually.
He was, yes,
because he was God's gift to the earth after the draft.
He was like, oh, he didn't pull up. Wow. Yeah, man. All right. The next one is from DeLorean Waters. He says, they say, immaturity, problems with accuracy, and the speed. Doesn't like the speed. I could definitely understand that. Jacob,
I like the speed though.
Like the drug or him running?
Yeah, I think he's relatively fast. Straight line.
But that's the thing though. I think maybe they're saying it in the context that I'm speaking.
Probably.
You're talking about him in a Matt Canada offense that wants RPOs and zone reads. It's like that's not that type of speed. That's different. You talk about straight line. You don't get the straight line like that. You got to make a guy miss. You might have to pause and then go. Like it's a little different.
Yeah, these comments are funny.
Yeah, you see it right. I'm like, I can't read that. I'm not reading that right now, man. I am Pat Fryermuth says his work ethic and immature. Okay. Now, I can definitely understand the work ethic part and the immaturity part coming from Washington, and we will get a chance to see what the work ethic looked like, because just because he was quiet and on practice squad doesn't necessarily mean he was improving and getting better when we talk work ethic. So I did want to just talk about the context with that because they are different.
But the work ethic, there's 2 different stories with him. Yeah. There was one video I saw on everything. I know
exactly what you're talking about.
Did you watch that video?
I
don't know
bro.
Who did it. It was pretty well done video. It was like 20 minutes talking about him in high school and him at Ohio State. Apparently, he was like the hardest working dude.
Yeah, first one in, last to leave.
Yep. First one in, last one to leave. He would get his teammates and run their own practices and stuff. Yeah, so, I mean, if we get this version of Haskins, that's not what we heard that he was doing down in Washington. Yeah. So hopefully with this situation, he likes Tomlin, likes the organization. We could get more of that here.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I definitely saw that as well, though, man. I like it. All right, so we're about quarter 2. You ready to transition to Dobbs, and then after that, then we'll be in the clear because after Dobbs, and we get these supers. Hit the because we got 2. Yeah, we got 2 more topics after that, huh? Yeah, JuJu and Trey. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. So last one we want to talk about Josh Dobbs, our rocket scientist. Shout out to the homie Dobbs. But let us know in the chat, man. 3 things that you like about Josh Dobbs' game. 3 things that you like about him. All right.
You do yours. I'm not like prepared. So I'll just riff off anything.
Yeah, that's
cool.
That's cool. Yeah, because like I said, I know the main 2 were gonna be Haskins and Mason, obviously. But Dobbs, I do feel like we'll talk about why I think he should be in the conversation. But for me, the 3 things I like about him, number 1 is his smarts. In terms of it was decorated. I mean, it was talked about this year in terms of the past couple years, actually. When Ben comes off the field, he doesn't go to the offensive coordinator because obviously he's up in this booth. He wasn't going over to talk to Mason. He wasn't going over to talk to Haskins. He wasn't going over to talk to the O-line.
He's going to think Canada's going to stab him in the back. That's why.
The only person
he's protecting himself.
The only person that Ben would go to talk to when he would come off the field was Josh Dobbs, in a similar manner to what he would do with Charlie Batch. Being a guy that has shared the locker room with Josh Dobbs, in terms of his football IQ, man, dude's elite smart. He knows the game. And just in general, I mean, dude's literally a rocket scientist. Like, I know one. I do. Okay. So for me, that's the first part. I love his smarts. The second thing, I love his mobility. I think that in terms of, running style and stuff like that, he has the most mobility, and it's not close comparing him to Haskins and Mason. So I love that. But then I also feel like under Matt Canada currently, he fits the best right now. When you talk about the dual threat, when you talk about being able to run some of these things, these concepts that are Matt Canada concepts, and clearly the team does like Matt Canada enough that they want to move forward with him. So if that is the case, Dobbs is a guy that fits that perfectly. So that's the third thing I like about Dobbs, man.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you got for... do we want to read any of the chats?
Or do you want me to do... Because those are my 3 likes.
Yeah, just go dislikes then.
Okay. Well, you just keep the time good.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
The 3 things that I don't like about him, obviously, or not obviously, but the 3 things I don't like about him, his arm talent. I don't think it's as elite as Mason or as Haskins. I think it can be... a little inconsistent at times as well in terms of the power and the pop and how lively it is. I think he has good touch, but the pop, it's kind of like when we talked about Duck.
Yeah.
We said, man, Duck's placement was really good, but sometimes like, man, it just doesn't have that cannon. And with Dobbs at times, I don't feel like he has that to the extent that I would like it to be as it is in contrast to the other guys. His experience. Has he had moments? Sure. But outside of a Raiders game where he came in for a quarter and a half, I don't even know if he got any regular season action in Jacksonville.
I don't think he did.
So it's like, in terms of NFL experience, regular season game experience, he doesn't have.
And very limited preseason too. You think of this preseason, he was coming in basically like end of fourth quarter.
But every preseason he's been here, he's been in the second seat to somebody else, whether it was Landry Jones, whether it was Mason Rudolph. So for him, the experience factor is very, very, needing to grow, needing more of it. And then the last thing that I don't like about him is, like I said with the other 2 guys, the consistency part. When we watch him, even in some of those preseason games, he'll have moments where it's like, yo, he's looking good. He's looking like, yo, he's a playmaker. He's a gamer. He's great. He can figure it out. But then it's like, man, you'll miss on some throws. You'll hold the ball too long. And we're just like, why is that? And that goes back to the consistency part because he just hasn't had a ton of experience, a ton of reps at this level. But to me, that is a negative for me as it pertains to him.
Yeah. And my sentiments on Dobbs. I got nothing against him. I've just kind of considered him an afterthought in this QB battle, even for the backup last year. Now, I even feel the same way. Now, like, you see a flash or 2 in preseason, but literally at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, dude, these are against like second, third, and fourth stringers. The Raiders game really hits home to me. I don't know what it is about that one. Maybe it gets me in my feelings because that season was a lost season. We should have won that. But that was just like a really bad performance. I don't want to put it all on him completely because that's the kind of like a tough spot. But I've just never really seen that much from Josh Dobbs that I would even like consider him over, like not consider over, but like have him as a legitimate threat in this competition to Mason or Haskins.
No, I could dig that, man.
But yeah. I mean, you do see the athletic flashes, the running ability, but no, not too much from my standpoint in terms of him versus the other 2.
Alrighty. Reading through the chat to see what people are saying they like or dislike about Dobbs. DCLZ brings up Dobbs' arm, mobility, and awareness. I believe those are 3 positives. I think. The Brobarian talks about his IQ. Definitely like that. Jared L says his... I think he's saying heart. Yeah, his heart, speed, and his smarts. Richard McKinney says smart, his mobility, and he will be a future coach. Yeah, I could definitely see that with him. Or he's going to be an astronaut sometime. Yeah, Brent Fox talks about his athleticism, his intelligence, and leadership potential. Okay.
I got a couple here. Rod Dulles says 1, football IQ. These are positives. 2, mobility. 3, accuracy.
Okay.
R. Barley 18 says Dobbs dislikes. He says 1, not an NFL arm. 2, way too small to hold up over the season. I don't know if I agree with that. He's like,
he got some size on him. You've seen him. Yeah, you've seen him.
We were talking about him playing like tight end.
No, absolutely.
3, too quiet to lead. You would know better on that one. Is he too quiet?
Listen, Dobbs will talk when he wants to talk. If Dobbs wanted to be the leader, he'll be the leader. He just understands that in Pittsburgh, while Ben was here, that wasn't his vein. That wasn't his lane. And it's hard to lead when you currently are like the practice squad or the 3rd quarterback. I'm just telling you, as a guy who's in that locker room, I'm not, even before I came to Pittsburgh, I don't want to hear the third quarterback or the practice squad quarterback giving me this rah-rah win for the Gipper. Let's get out here and run harder, guys. Because I'm telling him, bro, I'm starting in the NFL. I already have this under my belt. You need to talk about that more to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it might not be the best mentality, and I understand it. It might make me look like a bad person. I get that as well. But that is the nature of the NFL because we are just so, like, ultra competitive, ultra alpha that we don't take advice and coaching from just anybody or even motivation and leadership from just anybody. It has to be somebody that we respect both on and off the field as well. And that's part of the reason why with Dobbs, he was so quiet here, or he appears to be quiet publicly, but in actuality, he is definitely a leader, man. Love Dobbs. That's the homie, man.
It's just the riddle says, we were talking about ceiling. Mm-hmm. You might like this. I think his ceiling is like a tie rod oil bridge type for a year or two.
Yes. You know what? I think that's a good ceiling. I get behind that.
Ceiling, like what? Start a couple games?
Well, no, he's led a team to a playoffs. Yeah, he actually, people don't know this.
Okay.
People always bring up Josh Allen as, he revived the Bills franchise.
You're right.
It was Tyrod. Tyrod was the one who broke the drought. Tyrod was the one.
They couldn't beat the Jags.
I know, that was the part. That was it. But yeah, he was the quarterback that changed all of that. He has a Pro Bowl under his belt as well. That's all I'm throwing out there. So if Dobbs can get to... We laugh, right? And we say, how many guys had to fall out of this thing? But then when you think about quarterbacks that start and still, with all that being said, still don't have a Pro Bowl under their belt right now. That's the crazy part to me. I'm like, maybe he's not as bad as people try to make him be. Because there's a lot of quarterbacks out there with not a Pro Bowl under their belt, or maybe 1-2 Pro Bowls under their belt.
Do you think that's Dobbs' ceiling? Like the best version of him?
It's hard
bridge
to tell.
Guy kind of.
It's hard to tell because Tyrod was a higher pedigree guy. If I remember correct, I think Tyrod went.
Oof, I don't know. I think he went late.
No, he might have been fourth.
I think he was the better college quarterback.
Yeah, he was definitely the better.
Dobbs was good though. Dobbs was a good college.
Good. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, but it's not a bad ceiling. Like I said, Tyrod wins games. Tyrod is taking the team to a playoff game. Yeah. Like I said, if you're not getting elite tier, you're not that next tier of Kirk Cousins stuff. It's like, man, I'm not hating on that. Yeah.
This one's an interesting question. Who is most likely to reach the ceilings that we just talked about? Mason to Jimmy G. We'll say Haskins to like Burrow. Mm-hmm. And then we'll say Dobbs to Tyrod.
Y'all probably ain't gonna like it. I'm gonna say Mason to Jimmy G.
I was gonna say Mason too.
Yeah, I definitely think Mason to Jimmy G.
I think that'd be the most sure bet.
Yeah, and I think it's the most realistic. Like Joe Burrow, bro. Joe was a dog. I don't know if y'all.
I say Burrow instead of like. I feel like Mahomes. Like if you said Mahomes to Haskins, it's like that's almost unfathomable. Yeah. Right. If you said Rodgers or something like that.
If I could have saw Burrow before this season, then I
probably wouldn't be using him as an example though.
Yeah, because I thought he did some good things last year.
He did.
But it's just like this year, I thought he took that next step. This year, it looked like scary at times watching him play. Can Haskins get to that? I don't know. I'm with you. I definitely think Mason to Jimmy G is the sure safe. If I had to put money on it, I would go that.
That's probably why he's number one going into the season right now. Out of all those guys, he's probably it feels like the most sure thing, even though everyone in this competition right now, is it only those two? Like, do we have to still re-sign Dobbs?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, because Mason is currently under contract. Haskins is a restricted free agent, so he can't do anything. And Dobbs is the only unrestricted guy, but his market is going to be extremely small. So that's why it's like if they want him back, it's not as easy. It's nothing like that.
Got you.
Yeah. All righty. So let's do this. It's about to be we got 6 minutes before it's 4 o'clock. Let's go through these supers now, and then after that, we'll transition to the JuJu and Trey Turner topic.
I got two of them.
All right, whatever
down,
one you're
probably at the bottom.
Yeah. So just
Barella 92.
Okay, so all right, perfect. So when I get to him, I got you then. All right. So first is from Let's Go UW. He says, "Hey guys, from I think you might have already read this one. Yeah, the whole
Black
Banner,
Lavender.
No, yeah, Banner gaining weight. Yeah, you did Black Lavender. Yeah. Yep, needed a break from the Steelers talk. Yep. So we should be at Steel City 412. All right. Steel City 412 says, "Do you guys believe Devin Bush is starting to close the refrigerator with his hips?"
What?
Bro, okay, I'm gonna read this again. Maybe I read it wrong.
Okay.
Because this is actually like this seems like a dope comment question. He says, "Do you guys believe Devin Bush is starting to close the refrigerator with his hips. Like, is that like a man code thing?
I don't know. Is someone
Steel
in the
City
comments?
412? Can you spin the block? And
they're saying amazing Bush blast, so they're calling him out. This is a shot at him. I don't know what it is. Yeah, someone's saying I don't even know. I don't know what
that means, man. Nobody knows what it means.
Bart Basquiat does. He's laughing about it.
It gets the people going. Come on, man.
DeLorean Waters, he says I'm weak.
I don't know what that means. I'm really like.
They're saying he's calling him fat.
He says boop when he
hands
does
full
it.
of food. Hands full of food.
Oh. Y'all are wow.
Is he? I don't know. Is he getting fat?
No, I can understand why they're saying it because no lie, watching the Chiefs game, bro, he looks thick. He's noticeably thicker, but I don't know if it's like I don't know his weight. Like, I'm not putting him on a scale, but yeah, I can definitely see why y'all are saying what y'all are saying in terms of that. Because yes, he does look fuller, if that makes sense. Not fat. I'm not gonna say fat, but he does look fuller though. All right, y'all are wild, man. Y'all are wild. They called him man Eddie Lacy 2.0, bro. Like.
No way.
He's not there, bro. But I'll just say you can notice he is thicker. I'll just leave it at that. He is thicker.
He might be costing himself this season.
But y'all are wow, bro. All right, Eddie B. He says, "Do you guys think Tomlin's comments about painting the barn red were about the O-line and how detrimental it was to Canada and Ben?" Now that's another way that you could pivot that, and
I think I know what it was.
Yeah,
it was a shot at Ben.
It felt like a shot at Ben. I'm sure O-line might have got a little residual of the shot. Like if he emptied the clip at Ben, he might have sent like the little, you know how you reload or you can't reload so you get the handgun out on Call of Duty. It's like, yo, I done emptied 100 over here at 7. Let me go throw this little 12 at him. He just threw the 12 at the O-line. Beep, 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 beep. That was all that was. But he gave Dagon 7 the double hand strapped on with the vest and some ammo type situation, man.
You combine it with all those mobility comments he was making throughout the whole season. I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's disgraceful.
Absolutely. All right. Kenrick says, "What I like about Mason is that he wasn't starting." I did see that. He said, "That's what I like about that man. He was not out there on that field." Well, touche to you. Touche. Black Lavender, he says, "Mason looks like Jim Carrey in The Mask." Bruh. Y'all are wild. What? Jim Carrey. And then he says, I can't repeat it, him, because obviously we know that. But, dang, come on, man. Got like Jim Carrey in The Mask? Like, that's kind of jacked. You know what Jim Carrey in The Mask looks like? With the suit on, he's like, oh, right there. Or he's in the cha-cha.
That might be that's too far.
Like, bro,
I don't
extra,
see it,
bro. Like, he ain't looking like that.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, but he did have some great teeth in that movie, though. I will say that also. All right, we also have a new upper room member, LeVar Dawson. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And LeVar, since you are a new member, make sure you check out that film session, man. I got one available to you as a member and member only of Trey Norwood, man. Some of the positive plays that he had, especially in that Chiefs game, man. So you definitely want to check that out. James Panzarello, he says, "We need to get real and prepare for problems at quarterback. We've been spoiled with Ben and have to be real. Ride or die though, baby. Yeah, I can understand that.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You talking about Jimmy G as a ceiling? That doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't. But, I mean, who knows what this is going to look like coming up. Because like I said, to get a franchise, you either got to trade out the ass or you got to get lucky with the draft pick.
Exactly. They don't. And it's, like I said, a handful of 7 of them dudes right now. Yeah. Barilla 92. This, I think you're there.
Yeah. So our two options at QB1 aren't mobile, but we are keeping Canada. Make that one make sense. Tomlin's ego won't admit it that he was wrong, and it'll cost us. That's what we've been saying.
Preaching to the choir, man.
Yeah, we've been hinting at this.
And I'll also say this. I think I said it last show or 2 shows ago. Tomlin doesn't have to say anything publicly. He doesn't have to admit the flaws publicly, but his actions tell us the truth. When we look at the roster, when we look at who he puts out there on that field, that's telling us that, yeah, he does believe that those guys can fit with Canada or Canada's scheme, like, because that's currently the situation right now. So, yeah, hopefully the ego won't continue to get in the way, but that is one of the flaws.
This year it'll be very telling.
Yeah.
It'll be very telling. Brian Shuren. Do you guys think they should ever have used Haskins or Dobbs this past year for a Wildcat formation and even into the future? Not Haskins.
For Wildcat, no. I think we saw Dobbs have that situation a
Cleveland
year ago.
Game.
We talked about potentially that, but
he was hurt, right? He was hurt anyway.
He was definitely hurt.
We couldn't even do it.
Yeah, and I know for me, man, my biggest thing was just, and I mean, I kind of,
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's not. I was gonna say, I know you don't do that. For me, if it wasn't gonna be with Dobbs, then I don't want to take the ball out of Ben's hands and put it in, Ray's hands or anybody else is more athletic to run the Wildcat. I would much rather just be Ben for that. But I didn't want to see Haskins out there, and Dobbs, like I said, Dobbs wasn't available. He was on IR.
Haskins and Wildcat.
Yeah, I'm like, if you take Ben off the field to put Haskins there just to run Wildcat, I'm like, I'm
Haskins
cool
running
that,
Wildcat.
Man.
That doesn't really fit.
I'm cool on that.
Let's go, UW. So on an off note, but with the Penguins fully healthy for once, Letang, Crosby, and Malkin set an NHL record for the 16 years of starting together. I did see that a couple games ago. I think it was against the Kings they showed that. I love where the team is at talented and deep. I'm with them. I talked to you about this before we started recording. I think the Pens team's pretty loaded right now. Yeah. They just got to get things together on defense.
Yeah, and last night's game was definitely crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie. I turned the game, man. We was up, I think it was, 4? Was it a 4-1 or 4-0?
It went up to 5-1.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, this is done. We're good. Man, I saw the finals. I said, oh Lord. I said, what? But yes, that is something that we will start to talk about a lot more, man. Pens, because obviously their season, they're right in the heart of it, and they are, like you said, man, doing what they are supposed to do on the ice. And we did see that from the upper room. Y'all asked, so we will be bringing that to y'all as well.
Unit has 2 super chats. One of them was retracted. Maybe he needed to edit it up a little bit or something.
It happens like that sometimes.
But then he says, do you think we'll get a better O-line coach and DC?
O-line coach at the end of the year became Chris Morgan, who, I mean, we did see improvement, but was that because they made the switch at center? We necessarily don't know if that was the biggest reason why it looked different, and maybe that was why Clem wanted to leave. We talked about that as well, but in terms of better O-line coach, better than Chris Morgan, I don't necessarily know, because just the qualifications part of it, right? Chris is a very decorated and qualified O-line coach when you're talking about, just what he brings to the table in terms of coaching experience. So unless it's a Munchak or something like a veteran older guy, we'd probably be hard pressed for the O-line coach part. Now, defensive coordinator, you will be able to find defensive coordinators with a lot more experience than Keith Butler, because obviously Butts hasn't been anywhere outside the organization as a coordinator. He was only here, and it was a smaller sample size, right? In terms of, I think it was 5 years. It was 5 years.
Butler?
Yeah, because he took over. No,
longer.
It's
than
actually
that. It might be a decade.
It's 10. Yeah, no, not 10 yet, because he took over in 15. So so
was it 15?
Yeah, it's 15. Yeah, because LeBeau was here with me in 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so since 15, so that's what, 6? No, 8. Yeah, 8
Almost
years
8.
now. Yeah.
Okay, Russell Schwartz. When it comes to Mason, I've noticed he hasn't been the same since his concussion against Baltimore. I think that was only for the immediate future after that, because I think his best games were after that, when we talk about the Jets-Browns.
I would agree as well. But I've never had a concussion, or a concussion to that extent either. Like, Lord, that looked rough.
Had to take the mask off.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's never a good look, bro. Between Banner's face and him not having that mask on that helmet, he's talking about, I'm good, guys. No, you are not. No, you are not.
Wade Keith, he says, Mason needs a beard. Can't believe the baby face. There's no way he can grow a beard. I don't think he can.
Yeah. He does look like super baby face. I don't think I've ever seen him with stubble.
No, that's what I mean. I don't think he can. I actually don't think he can. All right. Young Shockey. How do you feel about acquiring Winston or Mariota in free agency?
We both liked Winston a lot more. Yeah, I think we both said we like Winston a lot more than
Mariota's an option, though.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Winston and Mariota kind of reminds me of this whole, in a sense, Haskins to Dobbs conversation. One, obviously way more prolific, way more productive at the NFL level. The other guy, a lot more athletic and intriguing in terms of when you think about Mariota. Mariota has the athletic ability, but the productivity hasn't been what you thought it would be or could be. Winston doesn't have any of the mobility to that level, but the arm strength, the arm talent, the productivity at this level is definitely there. Yeah. But for me, man, I'm I would lean more Winston personally, but then that is counterintuitive knowing that, what your boy Matt Canada wants.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, that is your boy, man.
Nah, but they're saying you just have to be mobile to pick up a first down.
Yeah.
Like they brought up Young Ben or like Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about the RPOs and stuff. Like it could be a part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're talking about, mobility. I just don't know if I buy it.
I'm not buying it either.
I just really don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, if that's the case, do better this year.
Exactly.
Get a system going for Ben. Kurt Vonnegut. Did you see Byron Leftwich is a head coach candidate for the Bears?
Yeah, Bears and Jacksonville. I know he was rumored to them as well. Yeah, and it's the fun part too, man. Interviews are about to start happening. I know people said they want more around the league stuff. We will talk about that next week on next week's show, whatever, because it is Friday. We don't want to, have us all in here on a crazy, crazy long Friday afternoon. But we're definitely going to address some of those coaching changes, GM changes. Like I said, not just in Pittsburgh, but around the league as well, man. So yeah.
Jordan, Moats, who you got in the UFC fight? I got, it's Gone, that's how you pronounce it, and Moreno for the title fights. I wouldn't mind some UFC talk in the offseason.
No, for a fact, we're going to do that. And you can go ahead and already prepare yourself. I will be doing the fight. The fight series has returned. It's the off-season time. Partly, but either way, it has returned. So yes, I am super excited about these fights. Cyril Gane challenging Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight championship belt, man. Both of those dudes are extremely talented. Francis more of the knockout artist. Cyril Gane is the elite technician, skilled, undefeated, coming off of a big win where he made Derek Lewis look trash at times. And Derek Lewis is a knockout artist, very similar to Francis Ngannou. Yeah, I like Gane and I want Gane to win. That's why I'm putting my money on. But the big thing when you're fighting Ngannou, we know if he touches you once, that can change the fight. Stipe Miocic is a prime example. Stipe fought him the first time. When Stipe wasn't touched by him, Stipe looked good. He can control the distance a little bit better. Once Francis started to touch Stipe, we saw it took two. And then after that, he was doing the leg dance. It was like, you don't want to do the leg dance, baby. So that's my only concern with Cyril. If he can just make sure he maintains that distance and doesn't get touched cleanly by Ngannou, I think he whoops him, because I haven't seen Francis be able to fight and be as multifaceted as Cyril has been and has shown on numerous occasions. Now, when you talk about Brandon Moreno and Davis and Figueiredo, I'm super crunk about this one too. This is their third fight. They done swapped it out a couple of times. First one was a draw. I personally thought that Davison won the first one. Second one, Moreno definitely won clear cut, choked the man out. It was like that. But this the one right here. This the one, man. You got Brazil or Mexico.
Who you got?
I feel like Moreno's going to win. Moreno is tough as nails, and I relate more to the Mexican culture, as I told you, right? But I'm not going to lie. I'm a sucker for Davison Figueiredo. I love the blonde hair with the red streak, the God of War, like just the whole Brazil fighters. He reminds me of, my goodness, Charles Oliveira, the featherweight champion or whatever right now, who, similar concept, Brazil, just tough as nails. Like, you just always feel like they're going to find a way to finish a fight, man. So I want him to win, but Moreno's definitely going to win that fight. Ooh. I feel like, bro.
Well,
yeah.
I guess I'll have to stay tuned then.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Absolutely, bro. If we're going to chop it up, if you want my takes on it.
We're going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about it.
Let's go, UW.
I ain't going to lie. This fight was, I'm contemplating, do I want to hit wifey with it? Hey, bae, I don't go out every often.
Go B-dubs.
Bae, I only go out once every couple months. I go out every quarter of the year. You know what I mean? Like, once every 4 months, I'm going to give you one night out. I'm trying to see if I'm going to get my man John Jones back out here in this first quarter. If I knew John Jones was going to be fighting this first quarter, then I could go ahead and say I'm going to use it for that. But since I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get John, that's why I'm like, it might be tomorrow. This might be the one I need. Stay tuned.
Let's go, UW. In your opinion, how okay do you feel about LeGlue and JC getting a chance to start next year?
I'm very confident in both of those guys, more so JC than LeGlue, but I do think with LeGlue, he gives you more position flexibility. We saw him at guard, we saw him at tackle, so I like both of those guys. And when you're talking about having multiple holes where you might want to spend a little bit more, splurge in certain areas, guys like LeGlue and JC can help band-aid and get you through a year, because it's not going to be a crazy drop off. We just said it's kind of like the Chris Wormley versus Stephon Tuitt conversation. Wormley is still a good player. He's not giving you the jump off the screen productivity that Tuitt can give you, but you can still win with both of those guys, as we saw. So with JC and LeGlue, I think there's a very similar concept with both of those guys, man.
Got up on the supers. What's the next play?
I like it. All right. And Mr. Woody C, CY. Yes, I do boxing as well. Yeah, so don't worry, man. We got some big boxing matches coming up, baby. You know I'm gonna have you tuned in. I'm gonna talk about them as well, man. I'm still waiting to see if I'm gonna get a little Earl Spence and Bud Crawford action. Maybe hoping, wishing, right? But who knows? But next thing we got to talk about though, man, is the continuing with our unrestricted free agent series, right? And it says 410, so we're not gonna go crazy long with it, but just enough to get your beak wet, and obviously from there,
5 apiece.
You know, after that, we know y'all can get a chance to really talk. And yes, I'm with you on that 5 piece, and that'll give us time for our picks at the end to have a little fun before we completely blast off on this weekend show. But let's start with JuJu Smith-Schuster, and this for the chat as well. With him, unrestricted free agent, do you bring him back? For me, I'm torn because I saw his market a year ago, and that was him coming off a really good season. And obviously, he came back to us for 1 year, $8 million. Now we know the rest of the years were voided out. So I'm asking myself, after how this season played out, where the productivity took another hit. Obviously, he missed a lot of time because of the injury, but when he came back, it still didn't look like it was anything special at that time. Now I'm trying to figure, do I even want to pay him 8? Because to me, I would not. I would personally keep him in that 3 to 5 range. I think that's where he's at right now. And then,
even going 3?
I will make my case for why I say 3 and why I say 5. And then we'll go from there, okay? I say 3 because right now, is he an elite slot receiver in the NFL? His best attribute is what? Blocking and trying to get combat catches on a linebacker or undersized or a safety that doesn't know how to play the ball. But if you say, hey, I'm going to put a coverage linebacker on him, he's going to struggle. He doesn't create separation.
We saw that in the Titans game last year.
So that's the biggest reason why I would say the $3 million, because I'm like, what am I paying for? If I'm paying for just a glorified receiver that can block and give me you got the combat catches. I love that. But if that's all you can give me, I don't want to pay you 5 for that. I think I can find that a lot cheaper, maybe even a draft guy. You know what I mean? If that was the case.
Yeah.
But the reason I say 5 is because we know he has some of the intangibles, the run after, the toughness, the commitment to being on a team, especially in Pittsburgh. Like, that's the part where I say 5. But then
it here. Yeah.
But then I ask myself, who do I think I can get more out of for $5 million? JuJu Smith-Schuster or James Washington? And the fact that I'm having that legitimate conversation in my head, that's another reason why I say I wouldn't go over 5, because to me, when I go over 5, I feel confident in that player that, hey, you're the best guy on this team right now for that job. And right now, I can't definitively say that I feel like JuJu is just light years ahead of James Washington. I know JuJu has the statistics, but we said the lion's share of JuJu statistics comes from under AB. Since AB has not been here, JuJu has not even been close to that same caliber of receiver. And obviously that was reflected last year with his market. So it's not just me feeling like this. This is a league-wide thing. He came back for 1 year, $8 million. We know he had other offers on the table that were more incentive-based and things like that.
They were all 1 year, though.
But it was nobody that was really loving him. Nobody that wanted to commit to him because of those things that I just brought up right here. So that's for me why I say in that 3 to 5 range. If it's there, I can make a case for me bringing him back. But even then, I'm still not 100% sold that, hey, I feel like this guy has to be here because he makes this team that much better. But when we talk about the intangibles that I talked about, him loving it here, him being just a good locker room guy, like, you do got to put a premium on that as well, as we've seen with other talented guys. You can't always just assume that they're going to be good locker room guys, even if they do got cool initials like an A and a B.
I think he'd be good for either one of these young quarterbacks too.
Yeah.
It looked like he had a little connection with Mason in that Browns game. Mm-hmm. It was weird back in 2019 with Mason because JuJu was hurt in and out of the lineup. He wasn't having his best. Like, I don't think he played enough with Mason to really get a good rapport, a good idea for their rapport with Mason. But he did look good with him in that Browns game because he made some like really nice catches and stuff, kept the chains moving. Yeah. Who do you think's better for Mason? Like, let's just assume Mason's the guy. Who do you think's better between Washington and JuJu? Because Washington didn't do much with Mason in the pros.
This is my question. Answering it honestly, I lean James solely because JuJu doesn't create a ton of separation, and we haven't seen Mason really take chances throwing the ball in tight windows. That's all. And I feel like with Mason, we've at least seen him throw the ball downfield. And we know with James Washington, at least that's a clear, defined characteristic from him. He will go up there and high point that ball. That is something that he does. So for me, I would say that because I don't feel sitting here today. Think about some of the throws we would see Ben make to JuJu, where he's putting that ball on the backside of a linebacker's ear right here. That Titans game from a year ago. Them balls was here and here. Perfect placement where JuJu could get it. That safety couldn't be a factor, but that linebacker had to. If he turned his head the wrong way, if that ball's too far this way or that way, those are incompletions or interceptions. I haven't seen Mason take those chances. So if you're not going to take those chances, JuJu's not a guy that's going to run away from people. JuJu's not a guy that's going to be running wide open. If anything, I would probably say Ray McCloud is the best option for him because Ray at least gets defined separation that he can see.
Ray in that Lions game, right? He was the number one option.
I told you, because he will get defined separation and Mason can physically see him open. Whereas with JuJu, he's not going to be able to look and say, oh, JuJu is clearly open. He can look at James and say 50-50, just throw it up. My guy be an athlete. But he can't look at JuJu and feel confident like that. And that's why I say probably Ray. As bad as it is, but he is, bro.
I'm with you on the number. I didn't think you're going to go as low as 3. I was thinking 5 to 6. Now, how good would I feel about like 6? I don't know if I feel good about it. As long as it's a 1-year deal. If it's multi-year, I would want it more in the 3 or 4.
But when I'm thinking of it as multi-year. That's what I'm saying. Like
for 15
per
or
year
16,
average.
17, like that. Yeah, that ain't bad. I mean, because he's talking about wanting to be back for 4 years. So here's some of the other guys that are unrestricted. Mm-hmm. AJ Green. It looked like his contract was $6 million this year. Mm-hmm. Manuel Sanders, his was $6 million this year too. Like, how would you feel about those guys, older veterans versus JuJu?
But I feel like with both of those guys, they create, especially Emmanuel. I like Emmanuel's game for 6, but we even talked about him and why we were frustrated about like why wouldn't we bring him in during that time frame? Because I do feel like he can still get it done. He creates separation. He would be a nice safety blanket. But JuJu doesn't create separation like that. Like I said, JuJu gives you the toughness though. Emmanuel's not blocking guys like JuJu is going to be blocking guys. JuJu directly impacts the running game largely. Like, we know that part. Whereas Emmanuel, AJ Green, they're not given that. But my question is, how much dollar value do I put on a receiver blocking? That's why I said 3 to 5, because I just feel like I can get that blocking and I can scheme it up if I have to way better than what we broke down in terms of why we having little guys trying to block big guys. We can adjust to find some guys to help block on the perimeter for some of these toss plays. But what we can adjust for is guys getting separation. If you can't get separation, you just can't get separation. And certain guys, I mean, even Claypool, he doesn't create a ton of separation. We talked about that with him. So
he should be.
Right, but that's why I go back to that whole 3 to 5, because what am I paying for? If I'm paying for upper echelon, I want that upper echelon type of ability. And I just don't think I'm getting that right now with him.
Should we go for a guy?
I personally would, but
here's the guys, free agent wise. Godwin, that was brought up before. Allen Robinson,
he's coming off the
Devontae Adams. There's no shot in hell we're getting
not
him.
A chance. Yeah, not
Will like here's probably the top like 3. Will Fuller, Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson. Fuller can't stay healthy. That's his problem. But he's a stud though too.
Yeah,
I like Godwin. I like those 3 receivers.
The best of the.
I don't know how much I like paying them a ton of money though. I like them in the 10 range.
But that's my thing. It's like
I would do that though. 10.
So think about this though. Would you pay JuJu 10? Because for those guys, we're saying we'd pay them 10, and I can agree, but I could even talk myself down a little bit from 10 for those guys. That's all I'm saying. So that's why when I said 3 to 5, I'm like, don't look at it as disrespect. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, I barely want to pay them
outside
10.
of Devontae Adams. There's not a guy like
dudes
that.
Like that. And just because you might have done it, in your first 2 years, like how many?
Mike
years
Williams is in there
that?
too. Actually, that's not a bad option.
Yeah.
But like I said with Claypool, are we just getting like kind of another Claypool with him? I do think he took a step in the right direction this season. He did have a really good year. I don't know though.
See, if Godwin wasn't coming off that ACL, I would love that one.
True.
But him coming off the ACL, I just don't know when he's prepared. I mean, we've seen very varying reports on how long it takes to get back from that thing now. So
I'm looking at Fuller's stat. Was he hurt all year too?
I don't remember.
Oh, this is a good one though. Actually, it's only a broken finger for Fuller, so it's not like one of like the knee ones or Achilles.
You're right.
And because his stats are terrible this year, so his market might go down a little bit. Actually, I like Fuller then. Out of those guys,
so you like Fuller over Robinson?
No, I just think his market might be a little softer than Robinson's.
Oh, when you say like him, you're saying for us,
not
just okay,
right.
See, I was taking.
I'll take any three of those guys.
Okay,
I'll take any three of those guys.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Who's got the best price? Yeah. That's my thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm with you on that.
Godwin, though, I mean, you see how people come back from these ACLs.
Which version? We saw Bush and we saw Banner. Oh. Because I thought it was 13.
No, I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general, not our guys.
Oh, I just
like,
ain't
ACL
know,
ain't the end of the world.
He's
young still. He's gonna be 26 this year.
Why?
I'm with you on that. Resign JuJu, yeah, for something around 5, maybe. Less than that if it's a multi-year deal.
Yeah, to me 5. Like if we're talking 5, like that's probably where I would want to stay at right now, high end, and that's because we like him. That's because he's been here and we know. Some of the other intangible things, but as a whole, I personally can't see it more than that right now, man.
Trey Turner?
Right. Yeah. Now, the other guy, Trey Turner. Yes, indeed. Interesting here. Obviously, another year older. I liked his play at times. I thought he was probably the most consistent in terms of just his floor, right? We didn't have the big swings with him. Now, like I said, he
wasn't hurt either. Steady.
It wasn't like the best and the most elite performance, but as a whole, it was still steady. Now, with him, I'm a little conflicted. Money-wise, it's not, I don't think it would kill us, but my question is fit-wise, when we talk about your Kendrick Greens, we talk about your Dodsons, talk about your LeGlues, and all these other guys. We say that, hey, okay, if Kendrick Green, they viewed him as a starter all season long, and he's not a center. They clearly said that at the end of the year now. I feel like they're still going to look for him to get an opportunity at a guard spot. All I'm saying is...
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. So it's like, man...
for him, too, being a veteran.
I'm like, for you to be older... and I don't feel like your play is just astronomically better than everybody out here. We're just like, yo, we got to keep him. If it's not to that level, for me, I would much rather either draft a guy or go out there and just spend a little bit more on a younger version of that. Because to me, like I said, he is older. He is older, man.
29, not bad. Some of the top guys right now.
They're all in their 30s.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's older. He's not the oldest, but he is getting up there.
Yeah, how would you feel about Andrew Norwell from Jacksonville? Because he's 30.
Oh, is he coming off an injury though, bro?
He might be.
I feel like he's coming off an injury, man.
Like those are some of the top guys. Yeah. It's Norwell, Scherf, Duvernay, Tardif, Alex Lewis, Laken Tomlinson. All these dudes are 29, 30.
So money wise, what would you commit to them dudes? You like any of them over Trey?
Sure, but by how much? We need to address the offensive line one way or another. So it's either through draft or we pick up. I think we got to pick at least one offensive lineman up in free agency, another one in the draft.
I would agree with that. Yeah, because like for me, I would, if I had to pick between bringing back JuJu and bringing back Trey, I would lean probably more towards the JuJu part, just because I think that I could make that work and it would make more sense.
It might be around the same monetary value.
Whereas like with Trey, he's going to cost more, but I don't know necessarily if his play is going to be that much better than the other guys.
He got 3 this year. Yeah. You think he's getting more than that? You think he's getting 5?
I think 6? If he tries to come back, he would want that because he's going to say to himself, hey, I came here on a 1-year 3 because I was coming off of an injury in a down 2 seasons.
Yeah, and you sucked.
And that exactly. So that's the reason why he took the 3. Now your rebuttal is, I showed you I'm healthy. I was clearly your best offensive lineman or one of your best offensive linemen, so you need to up my pay now. That's how that conversation goes. And because he's a veteran, he's going to be able to say that. He's going to have some leverage in that. And he's going to also know that, yeah, if you go out on the open market, we talk about how veteran players who have started and coming off of starting seasons for full body, there is always a market for them because you can count on them. You can trust them. As we saw this season, even though we say, hey, Dotson athletic is probably a better version right now, but we said, man, he's not as consistent as Trey is, and that's just a part of the veteran versus a younger guy. So for Trey, I do think he'll have a market, but for me, I just don't know if I want to commit to him like that, man, at this stage with his age versus going a younger route.
Yeah, because the other options right now as we sit, how do you feel about LeGlue? Yeah, I mean, you're kind of high on him, so is LeGlue actually a viable option at left guard? We've talked about that because then you can move Dotson to right guard.
If you move Dotson to
or
right,
even have Kendrick Green in the competition, which I don't know. I don't know how that's possible.
Okay, BJ Finney's another guy who started in this league, started for us at times at guard. That's another guy where I'm like, I don't see why he can't be in that conversation as well. And it's funny, man.
I'd rather bring back Trey Turner.
You know, it's funny though. It's funny. You made that same face when I said J.C. Hassenauer when BJ finished to get opportunities over Kendrick Green as center. You made that exact same face. Did. You did. For a fact, you did. And I remember thinking the same thoughts, like, if only you knew. Yeah.
I'm becoming wiser. Becoming wiser out here. So Trey Turner, 5 year. Oh yeah, does he want a multi-year deal at
that's another
29?
Part of it. Yeah.
He might want 2 or 3. Some, can we get a discount on that? I'd be willing to do that. Then I think 2 or 3 for 3 or 4. Like almost if we're doing the JuJu thing,
right? But if the number is low like that, sure. But, if Dotson and him were in a competition, how much better do you think he is than Dotson? Or do you think it's either?
We get Dotson to his natural position now. I think Dotson. I don't know if they'll just give it to Trey Turner because they gave him the contract. That's the thing. I could see Dotson beating him out. I'll put it that way. I'm saying
take out the money. I'm just asking, just when you view those two guys, do you feel like Trey Turner is a clear guy that's better? And the fact that you can't say that is the reason why I don't want to commit to $3+ million.
You'd rather move Dotson to right.
Isn't getting paid $3 million to go over there.
Yeah,
Dotson's getting paid a couple $100,000. Now I make it sound cheap. I get it. No disrespect. I ain't trying to do that.
It's got to be $1 million.
But
right?
no, contract it's right now, right? 4th round pick, rookie deal. Think about it. Do the math, man. It's all. He might be at 800,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not $1 million. Yeah, and you cut the taxes and the agent fees. Yeah, he's 1,000 there. It's cool. Like I said, I don't want to come off like that, but just in NFL conversation, that's all we're saying. NFL wise, that's a big difference though. When you're talking about
salary cap,
3.25 mil versus 800,000, 900,000, that's night and day. Yeah.
Okay. That might be the play then.
Actually, let me see how.
I think the real question is LeGlue. That's the main thing. LeGlue at left guard. Because if you're good with LeGlue at left, Dotson at right, versus Dotson at left, Trey Turner at right.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like there's any drop off, then the answer is obvious then.
Yeah, so going back to the Dotson conversation, his deal was 4 years, 3.9 mil. So rookie year was 600,000. Last year was 2021, 780,000. 2022, 895,000.
Getting that bank.
And then 2023 is when he would get 1.01 million.
Getting that bank next year.
But just in contrast,
right.
You talk about 3.25 compared to that, and we can't say, oh yeah, that guy's definitely better. I know the answer to
Dotson younger.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Maybe that's where we stand then.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm not opposed bringing Turner back because you're right. He kind of was a staple for the offensive line. That's not saying much because of how the unit looked as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the most pressing free agency signing that we need to make.
Yeah.
Like Akello, I don't have the list off the top of my head. I mean, I'd put Akello like at the top though compared to this.
Yeah. And we'll get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did 2 today. We're just doing 2 today. But man, that's fun though, bro.
JuJu and Trey. Super chats, then picks. We're at 4:29. I don't know how we're sitting in terms of time. Do we have to skip the picks this week?
You know I got you, baby. Come on, man. Of course you would want to skip the picks this week. You ain't slick. Let's go. Get these supers in here, man, and we will get these picks and be up out of here, bro. Don't play.
All right. Fair and Bradford. Am I right there?
Yeah. Because, in your opinion, how do you feel about...
No.
Yeah,
he's got another one.
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
All right. Do you all question JuJu and his commitment to his craft? I understand that his strengths and weaknesses are, But do you think he can take an offseason and get better at his weaknesses?
For me, I do think JuJu is very much committed to his craft. I just think that he is just a guy with a very big brand. He's very popular, but JuJu works. I will say that. I just think that he is who he is, also in the sense that it doesn't matter how hard he works in the offseason. He's not going to wake up and be this elite speed receiver that creates a ton of separation. I think that he can improve in terms of becoming maybe more savvy in terms of creating separation. He can probably improve on that. And who knows if he would have improved on that this year, because when he got hurt.
Yeah.
But in terms of his craft, though, I mean, you look at just the consistency with his catching. That's the commitment to your craft in comparison to other guys on this team, where you see the drops and how they can come in bunches as well, man. Like that to me, I don't question his commitment. I just think that he has just a massive brand. But being a guy that shared the locker room with him, I can't vouch for him in that from that standpoint when we had our time together.
Him having his off-field brand is just smart. That's just simply smart.
Absolutely. I mean, especially in a league like this where, I mean, you're one play away from it all ending. You got to have, multiple.
We
streams,
saw
man.
some
multiple
of that
options.
crossover in 2020, though, with the dancing on the logos.
Correct.
And that's when it went a little too far, because he became more of a storyline over the team.
Versus being a productive player.
And he leaned into it. He leaned into it one game too many. That was his problem. Because Buffalo, we lost, and it was like, all right, bro, let's stop that, because everyone's talking about this. Did it for one more on Monday night, and that's all the storyline was heading into that game. Like, they were talking about it on Monday Night Countdown.
And he couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait.
Lonnie Rowe Entertainment, LLC. Football was won in the trench. Don't matter who's at QB receiver. If we don't make the O-line the priority going into next season, I think invest in Trent Williams type dogs up front. Najee will win us games. Trent Williams, that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, it would. Now, those type of dogs cost a lot of money. I'm with it. I can understand the sentiment, and I do agree to an extent, but at the same time, that 49ers team, they have the dogs up front. They got talent around, especially on defense, but the quarterback is the question, right? Jimmy G. Deke doesn't like that type of model right there, man. Not everybody wants that type of model. Now, San Fran, the year when they went to the Super Bowl, they had a four-headed monster running back, right? They would rotate them guys through. They could run that rock. But not everybody likes that style of play. Not everybody likes that style of game. Deke definitely don't. Deke want throwing the ball.
Najee ain't a speedster like any of those dudes. Like, they had Mostert.
Yeah, they had, but they had, it was a combo.
Coleman's faster than even Najee, though,
They had a combo set out there, though, man. But, yeah, not everybody is as, into that, because with that, though, your margin of error is tight still. You can't turn the ball over. You talk about that Niners team and how they would run that rock. When they would turn the ball over, that would hurt them, because they didn't have a explosive offense in the sense of being able to score points in bunches. When they got down, it kind of forced them to make Jimmy G have to pass that ball a lot more, and you would see the flaws a little bit with that. So, yeah, in terms of just playing solely through Najee,
if you're talking about running the rock like that, we need another back.
Yeah, because I would say I don't think
we need a speedster.
Yeah,
we need a compliment.
Something. Yeah, we
like
definitely.
Michael Carter would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But like we're not spending 2 draft picks on running backs like that. No way.
Not at all. Bro.
But like that would be the perfect type of compliment.
Because I don't think that Najee lasts if we try to do that approach, because they rotated those dudes through running that rock out there, man.
Dave Shipley. First 5 yards or next level 5 separation is the key to receiver. Route running. As a linebacker, Moats,
I think
which is tougher to defend, and which one of those do you hate covering?
Between first 5 yard separation versus next level separation. Well, if we're being real, next level separation, because when you get the next level separation, that's when you're talking about home run threat. That's when you're talking about, instead of it being a 10-yard catch, that is like a 20-yard catch, because you have the separation, you catch it at 12 or 15 with those, 3-4 yards away, and now you still got to catch that guy and close that speed. So for me, you definitely don't want the guy with that, because that means he has that top end speed. When you start the separation at the top of the route, we've already opened this up, and now you can just go a little further. A guy beating you off the line, sometimes it can be a multitude of things. It could be your alignment. It can be he just has better quicks than you. It can be you got bumped on a rub route on some of these underneath crossings, so you're not as concerned with that, because you just feel like I can make that up. I can catch back up to a guy within 5 yards at the line of scrimmage. When it's downfield and that guy's able to still get that 5-yard separation, you see those corner routes and everybody's even, and now he's, oh no, this isn't a good feeling. And you know the ball's going there. You hate that. You hate it.
Oh yeah, all caught up in the super chats.
I like it. All right, so with that being said, man, we're gonna get these picks on deck. So let's go ahead and get them things lined up. We ain't got a lot of them this week, but we're gonna get them though.
4, yeah,
man. I gotta do that.
Only 4 games.
I owe it to myself. I'm gonna go down fighting.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down fighting.
Baby. Bengals on the road against the Titans. Titans -3.5. Titans are favored.
I'll let you pick this one first.
We're just gonna take opposites.
Yeah. Who you want? Because I like the Bengals.
Yeah, well, I'll do the Titans then.
Okay. I'll roll with the Bengals, man.
I do kind of have a weird feeling the Bengals are going to win this, though.
I do as well. But they said Derrick Henry practiced, though. And they said he was having contact as well.
I'll just do it. I'll just do the Titans. Like, even if Derrick Henry... Like, this is a bad pick for me. I'm just going to be real with you.
Fair enough.
This is a terrible pick.
Fair enough. This is kind of how I felt about Niners and Cowboys. I ain't going to lie, bro. The closer it got to the game, I was like, yo, well, I know why I picked the Cowboys, but I hate this. Because I just feel like this team is just a bad matchup, bro. Yes.
You said you'd let me pick it too. I could have picked Bengals. Huh?
You could have, but you already did. We already done committed. It's cool,
I already
man.
said it.
It's
I already
cool.
said it. See, if Derrick Henry plays for the Titans, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
First game back though, he could be a little rusty
or fresh.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe this was good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Just in time for him to give him the rock like 35 times. All right, Packers 49ers. You're letting me pick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Packers.
Good, because I really want to take the Niners.
No way.
I promise I want to take the Niners, bro.
Okay.
I'm believing in them running the ball, playing defense, bro. That's who they are. They play defense. They run that rock. Now, and I'm also playing the law of like averages. The Packers are the only team remaining in the NFL. Now, obviously, because of the playoffs, it's the only team remaining, but they were the only ones to go undefeated at home this season. Did not lose a game at the crib, bro. And they're still undefeated right now, obviously with the bye week.
You're saying it's due.
It's due. It's due. We should have had one, right? Maybe that was us.
Oh, it's supposed to be freezing up there too, so that could help the 49ers run game. I mean, Packers have a nice run game too going this year. They have a complete team.
But
Packers.
the Niners play really good defense. That's my thing, bro. I like them a lot, man.
You just gotta hope Bosa's back.
I ain't tripping, bro.
That concussion
I like
and
them
everything.
a lot, bro. I like them a lot, man.
All right, Bucks Rams. Bucks at home. I hope you want the Rams.
Who do you want, bro?
I'll take the Bucks.
Okay. I'll go Rams. I wanted Brady because I'd never like to pick against him in postseason, but I'll take Rams for this situation.
The reasons are there for the Rams to win, though.
Without a doubt.
Bucks without AB, banged up. I don't know if Fournette's playing in this game.
And the Bucks O-line is banged up as well. And you're talking Aaron Donald, Von Miller now. That makes it a little different, man.
It's just the X factor. Brady versus Stafford. You just don't bet against Brady.
I don't like the Rams secondary outside of Jalen Ramsey. I feel like it's inconsistent. And their safeties right now, it's all out of whack. I tell you, Eric Weddle, man, that boy went from sitting out here with us to starting. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
It's good for the Rams, though, that Bucks are missing all those pieces on offense.
True.
Like,
very true,
Mike
man.
Evans should be, Mike Evans, Gronk, like, those are kind of like the only guys they should have to worry about.
Yeah.
So I'll go Bucks. You got Rams.
I got Rams. Let's go. All
right. Well, this one's easy, right? You got Bills?
Of course.
All right. I'll take the Chiefs.
All right. Yeah.
So we got all 4 different.
Yeah. Don't let the Bills win.
Huh?
Don't let the Bills.
I don't feel as bad about that Titans pick because I have 3 favorites in the other games.
Don't let them Bills win, bro. Don't let the Bills win. I'm just giving y'all a heads up now. If the Bills go in the Arrowhead,
you got favorable matchups for the AFC Championship.
If the Bills go in the Arrowhead and they come back with the Chief, they come back with that Chief head with them feathers on it. Oh, I'm telling you now. Y'all gonna be pissed with me on Monday. Don't. Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that, bro. No. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just telling you now. Can I get? I'm just giving you the heads up now. All right, I'm just letting you know now. Y'all gonna hate me on Monday.
Real quick, do you want to rank the QBs real quick?
Yes, please.
I'll list off the QBs. I'll do it in random order because I already have my order set.
Yeah.
Josh Allen,
Ooh.
Burrow, Stafford, Jimmy G, Tannehill, Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady.
Oh.
How would you rank them?
All right.
We'll just do that.
I'll definitely go Mahomes 1.
Ooh.
I'm going Brady 2. Oh, gosh. Actually, I'm going Mahomes 1. I'm going Rod. No. I'm definitely right with what I said. Mahomes 1, Brady 2, Rodgers 3. I'm probably going Allen 4, Burrow 5. Oh.
Last 3 are Jimmy G, Stafford, and Tannehill.
I'm gonna go
You've
Stafford.
Been talking up Jimmy G. Put him up over Stafford.
No. I don't like him over Stafford, but my questioning: do I like him enough to do the Tannehill part? That's the part for me, because Stafford is definitely like the best of those 3. No, you know what? I do have to have him as the last one, because we have seen Tannehill step up and make some big throws, and Tannehill runs way better than Jimmy G. Jimmy G ain't got the athletic ability that Tannehill has. Okay. So that's why I'll leave it at that.
All right. So actually, our lists are very similar. The only big flip-flop that we have is at the top, because I got Brady 1.
You got Brady 1. You went Brady 1, Mahomes, Rodgers, correct?
Yeah, I got Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers.
Because we had the top 3 the same.
Yeah, Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers. I got your boy Josh Allen at 4.
Yeah.
I got Burrow at 5. I'll take. I was contemplating between him and Stafford, but I'll take Burrow over Stafford. Then the last 2 I don't really care about, but I'll actually put Jimmy G over Tannehill. So we do disagree on that one too.
Yo, but we're still like,
that's pretty much it.
Positioning though is still good though.
Yeah, my reason for Brady is like, I just wouldn't bet against him. I just wouldn't.
That's my thing. I'm with you.
Like, this game, say they win, they go to the Packers, I'm still betting Brady. And then if Brady plays Mahomes again in the Super Bowl, I'm just still betting Brady.
So for me, this is like the reason why I have Brady above all of those other guys is because I don't feel like Rodgers does it like how Brady can do it. The only person I feel like can do it like how Brady can do it is Mahomes, and Mahomes has the youth factor, and he's just more talented. And when I'm talking about,
he got that experience of the loss too.
Absolutely. And he's already won one. He's already had the quote unquote pressure and things like that, regular season, postseason. Whereas for Brady, man, Brady's like he's the GOAT of this thing, but he's done it forever. Whereas like now this is the new one. It's kind of like the Jordan to LeBron conversation, except Mahomes already got, a head start because he won one in his first year as a starter. So for me, that's why I link with him, because I do feel like this is still his time right now. Whereas Brady, even though Brady won a championship, I feel like I could put Mahomes on that same team. Mahomes would win that championship. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because Brady, even if you want to say old, still threw for 5,300 yards, 43 touchdowns this year, and was the last quarterback to win a ring out of all these guys. So that's why I just got Brady at 1.
I like it, bro. I like it.
Yeah, the lists were actually really similar there.
No, so that was dope, man. That was dope. All right, I'm going to speed through these supers because I definitely got to get ready to roll, bro. It's about to be 1:45. Lord have mercy. Dave Shipley says, great explanation. Thank you. No, man, I appreciate the question, man. I love when we get to talk about, just picking the brain, deep football type stuff like that, and the nuance stuff, So anytime you got questions like that, man, 100% answering those. And Dave also says he has a follow-up. Would you rather cover Deontay Johnson or Chase Claypool on the 3-4 zone when you drop back? He's like, I'm baseball, but both would beat me. Yeah, I mean, obviously, still his defense. I mean, you match up with some of those guys. If you put him as a slot or a number 3, you'll be running with those dudes man to man. In terms of who I would rather cover, neither.
Claypool, right?
Neither. I would probably lean Claypool because I can get my hands on him. And I feel like if I can get my hands on you, I feel really good about my hands once I put them on you in terms of slowing you down, then being able to use body position and stuff like that. Whereas Deontay is lightning quick, bro. I don't want to play that game with Deontay. Deontay reminds me of when I was in Buffalo and you deal with a guy like an Edelman. And you're like, bro, why? I don't want to guard this. Like, stop. I hate this side to side bursty Wes Walker's. I don't want to deal with none of that, man. Give me the big bodies, big speed, straight line speed guy. Because what I'm going to do? Oh, okay. He runs straight line on these tracks. Well, I'm going to set my chair right on the tracks and make him have to do something different. We know that's what he struggles with a little bit. So that's why I thought that would be my approach, man.
Yeah. Let's go, UW. Oh, man. He's even got Josh Allen now as his profile pick. Let's go, UW. What the hell has happened? What has happened, man?
Let's go.
This ain't college anymore, dude. Come on. Come on.
Let's go. Hey, University of Wyoming is my favorite. I'm just throwing it out there, man. I love Wyoming.
He says, so if the Bills win, are we getting a Bills show on Monday?
Uh-oh.
And he says, oh, man, you got some allies in here now. He says, I'm down for some Josh Allen. Man. You got the profile pic change and everything.
What they say? TBD? TBD. But we're going to find out, baby. We'll find out. But either way, man, this has definitely been a fun show on a Friday. Like I said, man, hopefully we don't have too many more of these afternoon Fridays. We like these in the mornings. But either way,
people
man.
Showed up.
Nah, shout out to everybody that was in attendance with us, man. Y'all in here extra chunky as always, man.
Like
the chat
it before
doing
you
what
leave.
it's doing. Yes, indeed, man. Definitely like it. I've seen people talking about the likes, man. Definitely hit the likes because, yes, we've been up in them hundreds and the likes have been in them low hundreds, and that's not cool because YouTube doesn't like that. So make sure you hit the like button. But couple other things before we get up out of here. New merch is available. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Teesprings or just click on one of the pictures that are underneath here, all right, go to the link, go to the actual page. All right. You'll see some of the new merchandise up there. It's a new t-shirt that just dropped, new coffee mug, Yeti cup as well, man. Cool little logo and design on that thing. So you definitely want to check that out. And like I said, Upper Room members, we got that extra video in there for you guys. Trying to think, 100th live episode, our 100th live episode is coming up next Wednesday. So that's going to be fun. All right. We got some giveaways planned. Whoa. Okay. And we'll give you a little bit more details of that on Monday. All right. But trust me on this one. You definitely going to want to be here for that 100th live show next Wednesday. I'm excited about it. But anywho, we will see each and every one of y'all on Monday. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. And until next time, baby.
Peace.